Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it. Good morning. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Hi, guys.
How you doing, Jenny?
Hi, Jenny. How are you?
Good.
I just witnessed my man Shannon Sharpe across the table making last-second note additions to what Steve Owens typed for him. And it was like, we got original content today. You actually had some thoughts that you were adding to your notes. I was impressed. I'm scared for once.
When will it ever stop? You dry snitching. Why you got to tell everything?
I saw you. You were writing. You never write on your type notes that he types for you.
Thought of something good last
You
night.
thought he thought of something good right in the intro to the show.
know.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne inspired you.
And then here you go. He's writing something down on his tight notes.
Well, did you not write on there? Look, Jenny, he wrote.
Yeah, I
didn't he?
Wonder
He wrote
what
a
that is.
sentence.
We'll have to
I don't
find
know.
out
That
later.
could close
How
the
you
deal.
doing, Skip?
You know what? I could lose a debate for the first
change
time
up
in
the
the history
subject.
of
You could
Undisputed.
lose. You always lose.
I've never lost once, but now look at this. I'm up
Well, you
against
better-
it.
well, how
Can you
about this?
show the
Nah, I ain't gonna
audience?
show nothing.
Oh,
I ain't got
okay.
nothing.
All right.
You about to lose this one.
I'm
You already know. LeBron, Brady, you can't win, Skip.
Ooh, we're gonna
Because
get
you
there.
choose the wrong side every time.
Let's see if Shannon's notes are going to help him today, because we have a lot to get to. Like this, will Anthony Davis be a Laker anytime soon? We also have Baker Mayfield, JuJu Smith-Schuster on the show as well. But hey, we're going to start with Tom Brady. He's heading to his 9th Super Bowl on Sunday and can become the first player ever to win 6 rings. When you look at Brady's resume, it's only natural that people call him the GOAT of the NFL. Yesterday, Brady compared himself to a player that some people consider to be the GOAT of the NBA, LeBron James. Let's take a listen.
We're similar athletes, LeBron and I, both great size and speed, jumping ability, shooting, not quite. No, he's a much better athlete than me. I think some people are born with great height. Some people are born with great size, great speed, and some people are born with other things that I would say are more intangible. And I think competitiveness and the ability to compete has been a great attribute for me. And it started when I was young, and it was really a part of my whole family. I mean, everyone was the same way, so it was definitely in our family's DNA to compete and to want to just play to win.
All right, I love Super Bowl week. So much good Brady content. Shannon, what do you make of Brady's comments?
I think he was being, obviously, clearly he was being very facetious.
Yeah, a little smile.
Great speed, strength, leaping ability, shooting ability. But Skip, normally when we think of greats, historically transcendent figures, they're normally high draft picks. When you go basketball, you think of Kareem, you think of Jordan with the 3rd pick in the draft, Magic 1st overall, LeBron, yada, yada, yada. We don't normally see guys that go on and do what Tom Brady, and so if you believe Tom Brady is the GOAT, he was a 6th-round draft pick. That's where they part ways, Skip. And for me, although they're both great players, and you argue either way, GOAT, this one, that one, the GOAT, I think they have more differences than similarities. Because if you look at LeBron, Skip, the expectations, I looked this up this morning, LeBron James appeared on Sports Illustrated before Tom Brady, and he's 7 years younger.
That's a good point. That's
And what do you,
true.
Skip, what do you hear me say a lot of times?
Is that what you wrote on there?
There
Is that
you
what
go.
it was?
Stop!
That was a bingo. That was a touche.
The number one thing, a lot of things kill careers, but I believe one of the number one things that kill a career is expectation.
Yeah.
LeBron James had the world on
He
his
did.
shoulders.
No, I agree.
From the age of 17. He got drafted #1 overall. It wasn't no it was about, okay, we have a game-changing, a generational player who's about to change our fortunes. Tom Brady was a 6th-round draft pick. He got drafted to a team that had just given Drew Bledsoe the first $100 million contract. So he wasn't thought as a organizational changing player. Had to bide his time, and things happened. Tom Brady's played for one coach, one team in 19 years. LeBron James has played for 5 different coaches and now on his 3rd team. So if we just take the first 15 years of his career, basically he had a coach every 3 years, and he went to 8 straight finals. Tom Brady's gone to 8 straight AFC title games. He's played in 9 Super Bowls. The different level of spotlight and expectations that come along with being LeBron James. Now Tom is in that stratosphere where the expectations, he's expected to perform at a very high level. And when Tom Brady doesn't have a good game, we need to know why. What's going on? Is Tom getting old? Is he slipping? Just like LeBron. LeBron has a bad game. Is he getting old? You know, he hadn't come back from that groin, you know, Jenny. You know, he's only 34, but that groin has kept him out for like 6 weeks, Jenny. Something's going on.
Father Time tapping him on the shoulder.
See, there you go.
Right? Well, I don't know.
Father Time is not.
A while.
LeBron James, over the last 3-4 years, he's been more outwardly, Skip, saying, I'm the GOAT. He's said things, he's done things to make you think. Now, there's no doubt in my mind that he's always thought this, but he's gotten very, very comfortable saying this. Tom Brady, you saw a little bit in Tom versus Time, how he thinks. Because, you know, Tom is like, oh, golly gee whiz, Tom, he's so humble, he doesn't think. But then it was reported that before the AFC Championship game 2 weeks ago, he walked into the locker room and said, I'm the baddest mofo on the planet.
He said that. That's what was reported. Yep.
Whoa. So now Tom is like, yeah. So it just goes to show.
Did not say it publicly, though.
No. But it just goes to show the mindset. Skip, I believe both guys are great students of the game. They understand the game. They know the history of the game. I can see LeBron James trying to play until he's 42 years of age. So that's another 8 years. So he's going to try to be playing year 24, especially if he wants to play with Bronny. Skip, I just believe that there are more differences than similarities given their background. One guy came straight out of high school with the world on his shoulders. The other guy got an opportunity to go to college, spend 4 years in college, come have a great coach. Because by any stretch of the imagination, no matter what you think, Coach Belichick is either the first or the second greatest coach in NFL history. Whether you want Walsh, whether you want Coach Belichick, whether you want Coach Lombardi, or you want Coach Belichick, he's a top 2, top 3 coach. LeBron James has never had that luxury. I don't think any of the coaches that ever coached LeBron, I don't think they're going to be mentioned when it's all said and done in the top 10 of greatest coaches. And so that's what's working against him. So I think there are more differences than similarities, but the one thing is unquestioned. If you say one is the GOAT, the other has to be the GOAT as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
2 + 2 equals
4.
6.
Because here, my
6 rings.
Whoa.
Brady's about to win his 6th ring.
Whoa. Hold on. Now, if you're going to use the argument and say Michael Jordan is 6-0, he went 6 times, Jenny.
Yes.
He didn't lose. That's a great accomplishment. You can't then say Tom Brady is the GOAT because he's gone to 8 and lost 3. And not say Joe's because if undefeated weighs in favor of one, it has to, weighs in for the other. So is it more important to get knocked out in the second round? Because guess what? Michael Jordan's getting knocked out in the first round, getting swept in the first round. He doesn't get finals deems. LeBron James don't know what that's like to get knocked out in the first round.
I would like to leave the original and only 23 out of this discussion.
Really?
This is about the faux goat.
That does not do that, Skip.
Faux goat.
No.
The fake 23 and the real 12 up in Foxborough, because there's only one number 12.
Okay, Bradshaw said, that's me.
Yeah, that's this guy. And the faux 12 is in Green Bay.
You don't do that, Skip.
Okay.
Different discussion.
Yeah.
Why did Tom Brady last until the 6th round of his draft? Because he had absolutely nothing in common with LeBron James physically, right?
No.
He ran the ugliest 40-yard dash in the history of the combine. It's just hard to watch. It's hard on your eyes. It was an eyesore of a 40-yard dash. Did he have the biggest arm? No, he did not.
No.
Did he have John Elway's athletic? He did not. Nope. Did he have any touch of Michael Vick? Nope. He had none of the above. He was immobile, and he had, you'd say, an above-average arm, an accurate arm, but nothing to write home about, nothing to write a draft report about where you would rave about Tom Brady.
Yeah, we need to take this guy in the first 3 rounds.
No. So, back to this. I got to tell you, this headline on this story that was written by Pro Football Talk that we're using as our sort of springboard into this conversation.
Okay.
The headline is misleading and ultimately offensive to me because it says Tom Brady shares one trait with LeBron, competitiveness. Well, if you read the quotes, again, Tom jokes about how he shares nothing in common with LeBron athletically. He just makes one joke after another. You can do everything, height, speed, strength, all those things. Yeah. None. He just jokes about that. But he does not say, I share with LeBron competitiveness, because he doesn't talk about LeBron when it comes to competitiveness, because he knows LeBron is not in his conversation when it comes to competitiveness, clutch intangibles, and leadership intangibles. That's where, if I could take Tom Brady and pour his intangibles into LeBron James, I would have beyond Michael Jordan. That player would make you forget about Michael Jordan, because it would be unfair what you would have. Because the deficiencies in LeBron always come down to intangibles, not tangibles to me. So what do we have in Tom Brady here? We have 5 rings that each included a game-winning drive in the Super Bowl. That's extraordinary. He doesn't get enough credit for that. So he's won 5 Super Bowls, and all 5 times he had to bring them back in the clutch in the fourth quarter or overtime, obviously, in the Atlanta game. Do we deduct
against him? Do we deduct that he was behind to begin with? If he's as great, why are you behind?
Come on.
I'm just saying.
He canceled all that out.
Oh, okay.
And he won a 6th ring, or he had a 6th-game winning drive, in my humble estimation, that got canceled by the luckiest single play in Super Bowl history. That by admission of Eli Manning, who we had at the Houston Super Bowl, and who admitted, yeah, it was the luckiest play, because he basically just, I don't know how he great escaped from about 6 Patriots, and then he closed his eyes and flung it as far as he could into the middle of the field, and somehow David Tyree caught it, and it stuck in his face mask, and that came with 1:15 left in that Super Bowl and set up the throw to Plaxico to win that game. So it canceled out a 6th-game winning drive that came with 2 minutes left.
Skip, why do you always do that? Why do you always say he could have had 6? What if Adam Vinatieri misses those field goals?
All right, but he set up those field goals. He did what he could do to set up that field goal.
But if Adam Vinatieri doesn't cash him in, Skip, we've seen that.
Okay. So the point is, we also forget that just a year ago in the AFC Championship game, he brought the Patriots, albeit at home, back from 20-10 down in the fourth quarter to Saxonville, remember, with 138 yards passing and 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. That was the AFC Championship game. And then we just watched him at Kansas City in the AFC Championship game bring this team from behind again and again in the fourth quarter, and then in overtime complete 3 straight 3rd and 10 passes. It's just impossible what he pulled off at Kansas City to win that game with a game-winning drive. So that's not counting, obviously, in his Super Bowl ring drives. And so for his postseason career, he has 12 game-winning drives. That's twice as many as the second player on that list, who happens to be the quarterback who threw passes to you. John Elway has 6. So he had 6 in his career. Tom Brady has 12, and, you know, just me, I wouldn't bet against him to have another one this Super Bowl Sunday.
Right.
And by the way, I don't think he's anywhere near finished, so he could keep adding to that list at age 42, 3, 4, and maybe 5.
But see, Skip, you give him far too much credit, because you make it seem like he's playing offense and defense. Yeah, you have to have those game-winning drives, but you don't give the defense any credit. They shut after they went down 28-3. Coach Belichick's defense.
Okay, I do, but it's still the quarterback has to keep making the decisions and the clutch throws to pull you out of the fire.
But you see, again, see what you did? Okay, why didn't he do that last year against the Eagles?
Well, he only threw for the all-time playoff record, 505 yards.
And what did he get him? Because Coach Belichick's defense couldn't hold up.
Couldn't hold up. It gave up 41 points. It was a disaster.
Okay, see, it was a...
I mean, you can only do so much. If you score 33, you should win a Super Bowl game. And by the way, that was the most points a Super Bowl loser has ever scored. So that goes on your resume.
In Tom Brady's before last year, in Tom Brady's previous 7 Super Bowls, how many points had Tom Brady scored in the first quarter?
I don't even care. He's got 5 rings.
I'm just asking you. Hold on.
Who cares? That's just like nitpicky. Is that all you got?
Hold on.
Seriously?
Hold on. You keep telling me.
I mean, that's beneath you.
How is it beneath me? He's got 0 points. So what's he doing, Skip?
It's lame. It doesn't matter who won the games.
Okay.
It's 4 quarters.
Well, I don't want to hear anything about how lucky David Tyree, who won the game. I don't want to hear nothing about 505, who won the game.
What happened the first time Tom Brady touched the football against the Chargers this year? What happened the first time he touched the ball against Kansas City this year? What happened? Boom happened. Boom.
Hold on. Are we doing? You were doing Super Bowls.
Remember, Coach Belichick has been like infamous for winning the toss and and deferring and taking the ball out of the GOAT's hands.
Okay, what did he do against that first possession against Tennessee?
Let's go back before we run out of time, because
we got plenty of time. We
don't have plenty of time. We got to go back to your man, LeBron James. Too many failures are already on his resume for you to even hold a candle in this discussion to Tom Brady, because do I need to remind you that back in 2011, he suffered the worst superstar meltdown we have ever witnessed in the history of sports in the NBA Finals against the Dallas Mavericks. It's just unquestionable. The chosen one turned into the frozen one. Remember that?
Was it worse than that
Games
one that
4,
Tom
5,
Brady
and 6?
Baltimore?
Against Baltimore.
Yeah, opening round.
This is the NBA Finals, and let me continue. No, well, he's got 5 rings. Yeah, he's had some. That's not a failure. He's lost games. This is the all-time. Shannon, this was the all-time embarrassment.
Skip.
It was the all-time humiliation.
Okay.
I've never seen anything like it.
Okay,
he just froze up.
Okay, how about this?
Wait. I'm just getting started here. How about Game 6 of the 2013 Finals, when down the stretch, LeBron James, I can go back and show you in the play-by-play, he had 3 shockingly uncharacteristic, unforced error turnovers.
Did they win the game?
3
Did
in a
they
row.
win the game? That should be beneath you, Skip.
With 5 seconds left in the game.
Did they win?
Timeout. I'm not finished yet. With 5 seconds left, LeBron James took the 3 to send it to overtime and bricked it so badly it was bounding, long rebound out. And you know what happened? Ray Allen hit the greatest clutch shot I've ever seen in pro basketball to send it to overtime.
So only LeBron
he saved LeBron's legacy.
Only LeBron can't have teammates.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that just saved your legacy, because that wasn't a call play. That wasn't anything anybody discussed in the huddle. LeBron took the shot.
Malcolm Butler saved Tom Brady. But I want to know one thing, Skip.
Speaking of overtimes, what did we just witness last NBA Finals? LeBron James had, I thought, his greatest ever Finals game up to a point, and things went wrong in the final possession.
Things went wrong.
Well, mostly because LeBron James had Steph Curry on him and should have just pulled up and taken the jump shot to win the game. Just take it to win or lose. Win or go home on this game. This is game 1. You can steal it at Oracle. And it all went wrong, and LeBron James went to the sideline huddle and sat about 10 feet away from his teammates.
No, he didn't. He sat right there next to...
He pouted, and he went into his shell, and he refused to shoot the basketball in the first 2.5 minutes of overtime, and they fell behind by 7 points, and that was the end of that deal. And then LeBron had the audacity at the end of the Finals to come out wearing a soft cast on his hand, saying he broke his hand after that game hitting the blackboard. Again, overtimes, Tom Brady owns overtime. LeBron James, not so much.
Okay.
So we're talking about winners' intangibles. There's no doubting LeBron's ability. It's all time.
That's something you can't. So I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. In Tom Brady's first playoff, in the run-up to the Super Bowl, he threw 1 touchdown the entire round of the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay. First year of starting. Yeah.
What I got to do with anything?
It was 2001. It's a long time. We're in 2019.
That's my point, Skip. You see how that works? So let me ask you a question.
Well,
if they lose that game.
Well, what was 2011 for LeBron? How many years had he been in the league? Was that 8th year? 7th? He was 2004?
But here's the thing. If they win that series, are we talking about it? You see, what happens, sometimes your teammates bail you out. You play bad, your teammates bail you out, and it's all forgotten. Tom Brady's teammates bailed him out. Adam Vinatieri cooked a 48-yard field goal, walk-off, good night, everybody. Tom Brady's the hero. He threw for 141 yards, Skip. Let's not pretend like he threw for 444. In the first Super Bowl.
Okay, he was just a game manager. It's his first year starting. And they did have a really good defense then, and not so much now, because we have seen that defense dwindle over the last 5 years to a point that it allowed 41 points in the last Super Bowl. And I'm not going to be shocked if the Rams score 30-something in this Super Bowl.
But hold on. But they're not getting blowed out in the first quarter because the Patriots' offense have yet to score 3 points in 8 Super Bowls in the first quarter. So is Tom Brady at the quarterback then, or are they playing somebody else in there? I just need to know why. You won't explain that to me.
Did Belichick defer when he won those tosses? Go look it up.
So is the team keeping the ball the entire first quarter?
Come on, that's just lame. So we're back.
How's it lame?
It's just
lame. You want to give him credit for everything else, but you don't.
He's won 5 rings with 5 game-winning drives. It's unheard of. No, it's almost inhuman. It's impossible.
But see, you don't want to find any fault. You can't explain why they're not scoring points in the first quarter.
I can't explain because I don't care. It's irrelevant.
So all you care about the end result.
Yeah.
Okay, LeBron. Okay, then.
You want to talk about computer brain?
So why
he is going to figure you out. He usually doesn't have the weapons the opposing team does, so he has to figure you out. He will process what you're doing, and it might take him a little bit of time.
So he's the only quarterback that can figure out a defense.
Well, he's up there. He and Peyton are the two best. Yeah.
So what about Joe?
Yeah. No, they didn't. They did West Coast. It's just reads. It's just reads. Bing, bing, bing. 1, 2, 3. Open, not open, open.
So what's Tom Brady doing? No. Open, not open, go to else. Oh, come on, Skip, now.
No, he's just figuring out where your weakness is.
Stop it, Skip. That's the whole objective of playing quarterback. Find the weakness in the defense.
So can you see how offensive this headline is?
No.
Tom Brady shares one trait with LeBron, competitiveness. That's a joke, and that's not what this story is about. I'm not trying to crush the headline writer here, but that's just the wrong takeaway from this, because LeBron's not in the same breath with Tom Brady when it comes to competitiveness. It's just, it's clutch intangibles. It's when you are at your sheer greatest, when the stakes are at the very highest. And we have seen LeBron, is he not a late game free throw disaster? It's just not what he does. It's not part of his makeup. This guy, the higher the stakes, the bigger the moment, the later the game, the better he is. And he's always been that way.
So competitiveness and clutchness are the same thing.
Well, they go hand in hand, but what takes it off the charts
so if that's
is
the
late
case,
game clutch intangible.
So if that's the case, Robert Horry might be the most competitive guy in NBA history. Because has anybody hit more big shots in the playoff than Robert Horry? So he's the most competitive player ever, then, is what you're saying.
Are you saying he's better than LeBron? I wouldn't say that.
I'm saying he's better than Jordan, if that's what you're basing it on.
So here's the final quote from Tom Brady from yesterday that we didn't quite get to when we showed the soundbite was, "This is Psycho Tom. I told you, he's got an alter ego, which is actually his most authentic ego. The real Tom Brady, underneath all the aw shucks gee whiz, is Psycho Tom." And he said, "I was a very poor sport growing up. I just remember losing and taking the remote and slamming it down over and over. If my kids did that today, I would not be happy. I remember punching a hole in the wall of our house. His dad let him get away with it because his dad liked it. He pushed it, and it's what drives this guy. He can't jump. He can't. He doesn't have. He's not 6'9", 260. But you want to put him in a situation. Just put him in the situation, playing the hardest position in sports with the highest stakes, and watch him operate. We've never seen anything like him before.
This is the problem.
So LeBron doesn't belong in the same sentence intangibly with this guy.
This is the problem that I have when people try to explain Tom Brady, mainly you, because you try to make things only unique to Tom. What great player wasn't a poor sport when they lost, Skip?
That's fine. I'm just saying, you can't process, you can't get it through your skull. How can he do this when he's so unathletic? It's because of the intangibles. It's because of the mind, the strength of will. He's got it.
Hell, I see a lot of baseball players. They're like, how the hell you do that and look at your body?
Yeah, but that's hand-eye coordination that's off the charts.
Yeah.
There are very few people who can do that and hit a baseball. Very few.
Well, Skip,
okay?
If your stomach is covering the plate, you shouldn't be able to do that.
Well, it just doesn't matter. That's a whole nother athletic aspiration. That's a different thing that we're talking about.
But stop pretending that being a poor sport as you're growing up and hating to lose.
It's just who he is. It's just who he is. It's that guy who walked in and said, "I'm the baddest."
I want to. You know what? I'd like to interview 1,000 parents of players currently playing and in the past and see what their kid was like as a child. Did they enjoy losing? And I'm going to see how many of them like, oh, okay, I lost. Okay, I'm so happy with that. Come on, Skip.
I don't think either of you guys really would fit into that category.
No.
Or
of what?
Of being a poor loser.
Well, he used to it now. He immune to losing.
Competitiveness.
He immune to losing, Jenny. After you lose so long, after you lose so much, you're immune to it. I done beat him down for the better part of almost 3 years.
The audience knows I just won another one.
No, you didn't.
All right. If we only had time to keep going there, we're going to leave it for now because there are so many rumors surrounding Anthony Davis, where he may be going, but did he deserve to be fined $50,000? We'll discuss all that next.
No mercy.
Hey guys, Jenny Taft here, and thanks for listening to the Undisputed podcast. If you're looking for more Super Bowl Sunday fun, well, here's your answer. During the game, come hang out with us at the Fox Sports Super Bowl party. From in-depth analysis to hilarious bet payoffs, this is sure to be the craziest Super Bowl event you've ever seen. Join in on the fun with Mark Schlereth, Dean Blandino, TJ Hushmanzada, and Jason McIntyre on the Fox Sports Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube pages, or foxsports.com starting at 6:15 p.m. Eastern.
No mercy.
And yesterday, the NBA fined Anthony Davis $50,000 for violating the league's policy that prohibits players or their reps from making public trade demands. That demand was made by AD's agent, Rich Paul, who also happens to be LeBron's agent. This has all led to speculation that the Lakers are the leading destination to trade for AD by the February 7th deadline. So, Shannon, did AD deserve this fine?
Yes. He broke the rules. The rules clearly say that you can't make a public statement, Skip, about wanting to be traded or anything of that nature. He broke the rules. But this is what he had to do. Skip, it's hard for me to believe that this is the first time that the Pelicans had heard Anthony Davis wanted out. And what was happening is AD is putting up 29.5 points, 14 rebounds, career high 4 assists, 2 blocks a game. He's putting up these monster numbers. He's carrying on with his teammates like nothing is going on. And everybody's like, and when we hear sources, Anthony Davis wants out, sources, Anthony Davis wants to try and get to L.A. Organizationally, they're like, who are these sources? AD ain't told us nothing. Look how he's playing. Look how he's interacting with his teammates. Now, AD comes out, Rich Paul crafts a letter. AD says, I want to go where I can compete, win, compete for titles. No. Now, guess what he got, Skip? He didn't have your attention at first. Now he has your complete and undivided attention. Now he not only did he put the organization, ownership, AD's not happy. He's not re-signing, and so what are you going to do? Now, gave you a couple of options, but this is what he had to do in order to try and get up out of there. And we said this, Skip, we've been going back and forth. AD need to say this. We keep hearing sources. We all the sources. Now, the best source is the source, is the horse, is AD. He laid it out for you. I want out. I'm not re-signing. So the best thing you can do is to get what you can, and I'm leaving. And everybody else, I just want you to know, I'm a rental. It's like if you come to California and you get a Ferrari or Lamborghini, you're going to have to turn it back in. I'm a rental.
Is that what happened?
I'm a rental. So I'm going to L.A., as the old folks say, by hook or crook. I'm going to end up in L.A.
Sooner or later?
It don't matter, Skip. You know, sometime in order to get to a destination, you got to go. What did they do? We had to divert the plane. You know, Skip, I was flying to New York one time. They had to divert the plane, and we stopped off in Raleigh because unforeseen circumstances. Sometimes, you know, there are unforeseen circumstances that's beyond our control. And so we might have to go over here to get to right here. But we coming.
Okay.
I think you're coming sooner than later. I believe this deal will get done before the trade deadline, which, by the way, is only a week from tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern time.
Man, you're more optimistic than you're the most optimistic person that this deal's going to get done than anybody.
I just see it. I see the handwriting all over the locker room walls from here to New Orleans. The skids are greased, and it's going to happen because LeBron is behind it and Rich Paul is behind it, and we're talking about power brokers are behind it, and it just feels meant to happen. It feels like it would actually be good for the NBA to have Anthony Davis and LeBron as Los Angeles Lakers. Doesn't it just feel right?
Yes.
It would help raise the profile of a league that's on the rise and has been. It would help with competitive balance in the West. It would offset a little bit of now DeMarcus Cousins up with the Golden State Warriors, and he seems to be blending in just perfectly, right?
Yes.
What did I tell you back on December 21st? I dug in on this the day that Anthony Davis and the Pelicans visited to play at Staples, and that night we were told later that LeBron and Anthony had dinner. I thought maybe they would have it on the night before, but it was after. And I told you then it's time for Anthony to do something that's completely against his character. It's time for him to basically trash his good guy label and image and play the game the way it is now played. And I don't love how the game is played in the NBA, but I can't stop it because this is the way in 2019, you do business.
Yeah.
And the cost of doing business is a pretty small cost in the grand scheme of things. It's $50,000.
Yeah.
So it's going to cost you $50,000, but I think he can handle that, right? Don't you?
Yeah.
You think he's going to be okay?
Yeah, he make about 35. He's all right. I think he's good.
Not 35,000, 35 million.
Yeah, you made 35 million.
Million a year. I think he'll be just fine, and I'm sure Clutch Sports will take care of that also, right? So that's the cost of taking a stand that he had to take, because it's the only way to force this trade. You have to force your way out of town. You have to set fire to the bridge that you built for 7 years between you and the good fans of the New Orleans area, right?
Yes.
Because he loves them. And I think when he says, I love it here and I love to stay here, I think that's straight from his heart.
Yeah.
I've had him on shows before. He's a good kid. Yeah. He's a good guy. His heart is good. There's not a bad bone in that body. Sometimes you wish he did have one bad bone so he could play a little meaner.
It didn't have to get here. It's hard for me to believe that Rich Paul, who is a representative of Anthony Davis, hasn't gone to Dale Demps, who's the general manager of the Pelicans, and said, "Look,
you got to do dramatic. You got to do now or never.
Skip,
you have to go for the throat."
Well, Skip, we try to do. See, the thing about Rich and I, we
try to do it gentlemanly.
Yeah, we do things behind the scene.
I got it.
But
it just wasn't gonna work that way.
So we can't be nice and get it done.
You have to force the hand of now. The irony of this is, it actually comes down to one Gail Benson, who has now inherited the team after her husband's death a year ago, Tom Benson, right?
Yep.
So Gail Benson is now 72 years of age. I don't know that she has great experience being around the NBA, but now it's going to come down to her to decide yes or no on this thing. So just as I thought, Rich Paul has quietly gone about his business of informing any other potential bidders, as you just pointed out. You're renting. That's all. He wants to go to Los Angeles. He will go to Los Angeles by hook or crook. You can force your time upon him. The Pelicans could force time upon him. They could just say, well, we'll just play it out, and he'll leave for nothing, right?
And KD, remember KD left for nothing.
He left for nothing, correct. Or you can, because now Rich Paul has made it clear to the Celtics and the Knicks, two of probably the most marquee bidders, possible bidders, you're just going to rent him. So how much are you going to pay to rent him for a year?
Right.
You really want to do that?
Right.
And obviously, Toronto took the plunge on number 2 in San Antonio because they thought, well, because it's different. He didn't have a clear-cut destination. He just wanted out of San Antonio. So Toronto was thinking, well, maybe we can convince him that the North, that he can just own Toronto, and Toronto's a great place.
It is.
I know it gets cold, but still, it's a beautiful city, and it's vibrant, and they love their Raptors.
I believe it's reported that Kawhi Leonard spent $13.5 million for a house in Rancho Santa Fe, which is right outside San Diego.
Where he's from.
It's hard for me to believe, Skip Bayless, that man wants to spend 6-7 months in Toronto and not the better part of that in that house.
Okay, all right, could be. So, but anyway, that guy didn't have a destination. He didn't make it clear, I'm going to the Lakers to play with LeBron or whatever. This is clear cut. So now...
And he hasn't waffled. Guys waffle, well, I want to go here. They give you a list.
Yeah.
Well, here, I want to go to Toronto. I want to go this place, Miami.
Right.
I want to go to Nick. He got one team on the list, Lakers.
Okay, so now that's a done deal in everybody's minds. So now it's up to the Pelicans to realize, okay, right now, you used the analogy yesterday, my store is open, you can come into my store and you can have everything in my store, whatever you want, except for that one guy.
Right.
That 23, you can't have him.
Can't have him.
But you can have everything else. You can mix and match depending on what fits under your cap.
Brandon Ingram did good last night.
He had a big game. He had a good game.
Good.
Okay, all right, so
y'all want
fine. That? On any given night, somebody rises up and you say, oh, I like the potential. They all got potential. These are nice pieces.
Yes.
By the way, the Pelicans had a really nice win last night at Houston, and that was without Julius Randle, without Mirotic. That was all pride. That was just them saying, and by the way, Drew Holiday, I'm telling you, their cupboard's not bare. He is as good a perimeter defender as there is in the league.
It's unbelievable.
And you know what? He did a number, if I can go this far to say, he did a number on James Harden. He made it hard on Harden, harder than anybody else can make. And I know they were running doubles at him and all, but
triples.
Hey, Drew Holiday can defend and he can score. And he had a big game both ways, on both ends of the floor. And Jahlil Okafor rose and shone last night. What do you have, 27 and 12?
Right.
Woo! So at least you got another quasi-big that you can use.
Skip, The writing was on the wall. Skip, Anthony Davis did not need an agent. Anthony Davis is a super max player. Now, he could have kept his agent 5 years, $240 million.
Okay.
Or he said, you know what, I don't want to give you 5%. 5% for what? You're not negotiating anything.
I got it.
I'm sliding.
There's only one reason to go with Rich Paul. It's to go to L.A.
That's it.
That's it.
Because who's the one guy that can get me up out of here and get me to the destination in which I want to go?
Okay, so here's what the Pelicans got to decide right here, right now, in the next 7 days. Do we want to risk waiting until Boston is eligible to bid after the season? Because it could be a declining market at that point when everybody is convinced he's just a rental. We got no shot with him for the long haul.
Boston got bigger fish to fry.
Okay.
They need to worry about that number 11.
Okay, that's fine.
Because the word is he about to bounce.
No, I got that. But I'm just saying, I'm doing it from the Pelicans' point of view. This is what happened to the Spurs last year. It's coming up on the deadline, and they're thinking, should we wait it out? Should we try to impose our will on him? And they finally said, you know what? Let's just take the best deal on the table. And the best deal they had was DeMar DeRozan and Jakob Poeltl.
Right.
Not bad,
right.
not great. It's
right.
not equal for equal. It's not 50-50. But
Skip, they would have done this deal. If the Lakers were in the East, they would have traded Kawhi to the Lakers.
Okay.
But Greg Popovich made it abundantly clear. Well, I'm not sending you.
I know this is west to west, but you don't have any other options. Yeah. So I'm going to think that even Gail Benson will sit back and finally say, okay, they're saying we can have anybody we want, so let's take him and him. Let's do this and do it now, because if we wait until after the year and Boston cools and the Knicks cool and anybody else, the Milwaukee Bucks cool on this, then all of a sudden we might get stuck. And the Lakers would realize, aha, you have lost leverage because there aren't other bidders because they've all shied away.
Right.
Well, you don't want that to happen.
Right.
It's hot right now. I'm sure Magic and Pelinka are saying, just tell us what you want. We will accommodate you, right?
And the thing is, Ms. Benson's going to say, hold on, wait a minute. You mean to tell me I can save $270 million if I let him go?
Well,
because $240 plus he has another year left, Skip, so that's a $35 million. So 6 years at $275 million. Oh, man, y'all better get this man up out my house.
So if you add any of Lonzo Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, your man Zubats, whatever you mix and match with those.
Josh Hart.
Okay. I still think there are enough pieces in place with the Pelicans, as we saw some last night. And again, no Julius Randle, no Mirotic, that they can be credible. They can be a contender. They can be a playoff team with those kids because they're going to get good.
Do you think it's going to have to be? Do you think it's going to be team to team, or they're going to get a third team?
They would have to, and there's been reports, and I'm just throwing out rampant speculation. But Lonzo to Phoenix, I still say Lonzo is the key piece here. That's just, again, I'm a much bigger fan than you are because I think he's going to be a star. So he's the one who's going to make it all go, but it might go to third team to go back to New Orleans to come to L.A.
Because, True Holiday had his best season playing alongside Rondo.
He did. And I think he's got a lot of two in him where you're just fine with him playing.
Most of them do.
Yeah. Okay.
Most of the point guards are two guards.
Except for Alonzo Ball.
Yes.
He's about as pure a
well, you ain't got no choice because
he
can't shoot and score the basketball.
All right.
So he ain't got no choice.
Well, there you go. So I think it's going to get done. I think they're negotiating as we speak, and the clock is ticking toward a week from tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
I told you in July. I said, Skip Bailey, we about to get a D on our report card. You know what you talk about? I said, we're going to get KD or AD, but we getting a D.
You haven't said it
You should prefer KD, but go ahead.
Give me that 6'10" and a quarter.
I'll take 7-foot monster myself. I'll take that. Do you realize Kevin Durant is taller than Anthony Davis? He is.
That is kind of crazy.
He's much longer than Anthony Davis.
We might get KD in free agency.
Yeah.
KD, AD, and Bron.
Then
what you gonna do?
Come celebrating.
What you gonna do this, Skip?
Well, I'm not going to do. I'm just going to sit back and watch.
You be sick. You be sick.
I wouldn't be sick.
LeBron got everything. If he don't win it now,
well, he'd have the best player on the planet.
He already did.
KD.
Okay, we can't predict that yet. We're jumping too far ahead. No mercy. The Patriots, well, they're just a few days away from playing in their third straight Super Bowl, but it wasn't easy getting there. Tom Brady and the Patriots were the #2 seed, but they still lost 5 games in the regular season. The Patriots haven't won a Super Bowl while also losing 5 games since the 2001 season, which was also the start of the Brady-Belichick dynasty. So, Skip, you've said it many times that this will be Brady's greatest accomplishment.
I have.
If he wins the Super Bowl with this team.
Correct.
So, Shannon, do you agree with Skip on that one?
I disagree with Skip.
Shocking.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's not. They were the preseason favorites to win Super Bowl 53. For me, his greatest accomplishment, Skip, is 2016. Dealing with the offseason, what he had to deal with. Deflategate. Am I suspended? Okay, you're suspended. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. He sits down those 4 games. He comes back. And after week 12, he had no Rob Gronkowski. He falls behind 28-3 in the Super Bowl. And to come back, and you know the numbers. I mean, you know the fourth quarter and overtime numbers where you got them in grand. I'm surprised you got a tattoo.
246.
I'm surprised
I'm
surprised you ain't got a tattoo.
2 touchdowns. I have
Doesn't
no
need
tattoos.
it.
Yeah, if you had a tattoo, that's what it
All
would
right
be.
here, Shannon.
So,
No, I just have a 12. That's all I would need.
whatever.
Imagine.
I think 2016 is the greatest accomplishment, Skip. Because if
It
you
was
look
great.
From week 8 on, only the Bears, only the Chicago Bears, who led the NFL in scoring D as a whole, since week 8, only the Bears have a better scoring D than the New England Patriots. So
In 2016.
No. This year.
Oh, this year?
This year.
I
Yeah, you didn't know that. That's what I do. What, Skip, I was up all night.
Really?
Yeah. Taking note of me and Steve said, Shannon, I'm tired. I got to go to bed. You know, I live a long ways. I said, I don't care, Steve. We need to, because I know we got to come.
You could have looked it up by yourself.
No. Me and Steve, we're a tandem.
Oh.
Yeah, we work hand in hand together.
I think one hand pulls
I
the
love
other.
how he's this mystery figure.
Since,
Yes.
again, so let me get this straight. They have the number 5 running attack in football. Tom Brady is the 3rd least sacked quarterback in all of football. Since week 8, they gave up the fewest points behind Chicago at 16 points a game. And you want this to be his greatest accomplishment? I think 2016, given what he had to deal with in the offseason, served the 4-game suspension, played the better part of what? 6 weeks, 8 weeks without Rob Gronkowski, who was dominant. He ain't the same Gronk as he was back then, Skip. You know that, I know that. But to do what he did, I think that was probably his greatest achievement. I don't think this because they were favored from the jump. Yeah, they had a little, what team doesn't go through a little ups and downs during the course of the season? That's what the NFL is. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So I'm going to disagree. I don't think this will be his greatest achievement. I think 2016 is.
And I will tell you why one more time, this is easily his greatest achievement. Because, yes, they were ranked first. They had the best odds before the season started, but they soon fell to 5th. That was later in the season in the Super Bowl odds.
5th, not 15th?
5th.
Oh.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, they fell to 5th best odds to get to the Super Bowl.
And they went into the playoffs 4th best behind Saints, Rams, and Chiefs. So they were not any prohibitive favorite the way they usually are going into the playoffs. And they're usually the prohibitive favorite because of that quarterback. But this time, this year, obviously, Tom Brady lost his only semblance of a deep threat. Josh Gordon, who was there for 11 games, wasn't quite what he used to be, according to the Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe. But then they lost him, and obviously they lost last year's legit deep threat, Brandon Cooks, because he got traded to, the Rams. Oh, that's great. So now they have to deal with the Rams. And as you kept telling me all year long, Rob Gronkowski is a broken down shell of himself on his last legs, and we both believe this will be his final NFL game in this Super Bowl, correct? And then we get to Sony Michel, who came on at the end of the year and had a nice burst at the end of the year. But seriously, is he Todd Gurley? Is he C.J. Anderson?
Bleacher Report said yeah.
He's not.
Bleacher
He's just
Report
not.
said
What
yeah.
does Shannon Sharpe say?
Well,
no,
it's your
come
turn
on.
to talk.
No,
It's your turn.
it
It's
is.
your
Well,
turn.
I'm just telling
I
you,
don't want
he's
to talk
not.
over you.
And this defense is pretty much the same defense that gave up 41 points to the Eagles' backup quarterback last year in the Super Bowl. That guy, Nick Foles, that they're going to let walk right out of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So he's going to be walking away from them, Foles, right?
Yeah.
Not walking
Coach
to him,
Belichick
walking
just
away
signed
from
him.
him. Really? Okay. Well, yeah. Oh, to replace Tom Brady?
I just throw that out there. Skip.
That's a good point. You know what? I'm going to just jump ahead to because Tom Brady has had to overcome this steady drumbeat that turned into this runaway train of criticism led in large part by the Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe.
What I do
that
now?
Father Time has tapped him on both shoulders, that he has lost velocity, he has lost accuracy, and he has ultimately lost his nerve in the pocket, said Shannon Sharpe.
Yeah, he has.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why this is his greatest achievement, because he heard that repeatedly through this whole year. But this defense, that you're raving about, do you realize it gave up to Blake Bortles 373 yards passing and 4 touchdowns and a QBR of 95? That's how good this defense was earlier in the year. And they started to come together. But remember, it was just a lot of AFC East teams.
But
right?
I see what you're talking about, Coach Belichick's defense. What did Tom Brady do in that game?
And you didn't point out that Coach Belichick's defense at home against Kansas City gave up 31 in the second half on Sunday Night Football. And then at Kansas City in the championship game, Pat Mahomes had the ball for a grand total of 3 minutes in the fourth quarter and scored 24 points on Belichick's defense, top-rated defense. Baloney! Baloney! Tom Brady had to overcome this defense all year long. And what happened on the final play at Miami after Tom Brady had his best game? Disaster happened. Something that Bill Belichick has never let happen under his watch happened. They gave up a 69-yard, whatever it was, Miami miracle play that was just impossibly bad.
Bad look.
And guess what? It sent them to Kansas City on the road in the cold, in the loudest outdoor stadium other than Seattle.
Let me ask you a question. Had New England had the #1 seed, do you believe they'd have had the 4th best odds to get to the Super Bowl?
Probably not. It probably would have helped just a little bit.
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
Tom Brady went to Kansas City. You said he couldn't do that because you said he couldn't beat the Chargers.
They only won one playoff.
Yeah.
You know that they only won one playoff game since 1993 in Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yet, Tom Brady had not won a road playoff game since 2006.
Yeah.
Think about that. We're in 2019. He had not won a road playoff game since 2006. He was 3-4 on the road. And what happened in the AFC Championship game? Tom Brady gave you his first and only signature road playoff win. That's an achievement, man. That's sensational.
Well, and considering that Arizona, that KC, it was 13 years before Tom Brady got his last road playoff win that they won a home playoff game. So how impressive.
Then help me out. Why did you pick Kansas City?
Because
you were sure of it.
I thought their defense would show better. I thought the defense would show better than what they showed.
Well, it's against odds, man.
Clearly, I was
odds.
Clearly, I was wrong.
Okay. Well, he just kept beating longer and longer odds, beating the Chargers that you like. It was your Super Bowl pick.
But you keep telling me.
This is his greatest achievement. Look at all that he had to overcome to get here. And plus, at 41, he has to hear the noise. You say he blocks out the noise, but he said the other day at the Super Bowl, he said, some of it trickles through.
Sure.
That's what he said.
All of it trickles through.
How could it not?
I've been just trying to figure out, Skip, you know, in these 2 or 3 Super Bowls they lost, they scored 17 and 14. But the GOAT, how you do that? And in the second half, Jenny, do you know in 2 or 3 losses, in the second half, Tom Brady-led offenses scored 7 points?
So how do you explain, Shannon Sharpe, that Tom Brady with 2 minutes left pulled off yet another fourth quarter game-winning drive against the New York Football Giants to go up 14-10? That should have stood up if, in fact, Bill Belichick is that guy.
The only 7 points he got. If Tom Brady's that guy, hold on. You average in the regular
season. Should Bill Belichick have closed that deal?
Hold on. So in other words, if Coach Belichick is that guy, the defensive guru, the mind that he is, he should be able to close a deal in which Tom Brady. But Tom Brady's that guy. Shouldn't he score more than 7 points in the second half? When you average 33 one year and 37 the next?
Should 14-10 have stood up?
No, not with Tom Brady.
Oh, not with
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady? Tom Brady doesn't play defense.
Tom Brady.
You know what? They should let him try.
Tom Brady.
He'd be really good.
Tom Brady, no Under Armour pajamas can get you 21 points.
Interesting.
What happens, Skip?
So now, greatest achievement gets capped off by Tom Brady going up against a team that has much better weapons than you'd give the Rams all the checks on all the weapons, right? Sure, you just would.
Give me Coach Belichick.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Give me Coach Belichick.
Well, give me the Rams defense because on paper with Wade Phillips coaching it, it's much better than Belichick's defense. You know that, and I know that.
But we don't do it on paper. The only thing we do on paper is scratch and draw. We scratch and draw. That's the only thing we do on paper.
Yeah, I'll give you Coach Belichick for last year's Super Bowl because you can have
No.
Yeah.
No. I want him all. Give me Coach Belichick from 2000 on.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see what Tom Brady would have been without him.
He used to be something, and then he lost his fastball. I don't know what happened. He lost his passion. He got overruled.
Coach Belichick said I should have me about 8 Super Bowls. If I can get my quarterback to score more than 17 points.
Coach Belichick didn't want Tom Brady to be his quarterback this year. You like that?
I'm talking about the years before.
Oh, okay.
We ain't talking about that. We ain't talking about that. We're talking about when he scored 14 little measly points. Skip.
Wait a second. Wait a second. This caps off greatest achievement. Tom Brady is playing for a coach who didn't want him to be the quarterback this year. Game over. He did that. He pulled this off. Wow.
Man, we all been there before, Jenny. I dated a girl for 6 years. I wasn't her first choice. But things happen.
Was the world focused on that?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they were focused.
Nobody knew.
How'd you know you
I
were
know.
the first choice?
But you know what? Once you started hanging out with O'Shea, you're like, you know what? You weren't my first choice, but you my best choice.
Really?
Now run tell that, Skip Bayless.
Yeah. Where is she now?
I don't know.
All these explanations
Things happen,
popping
Skip
up
Bayless.
this week. I don't know.
Just like things
How
happen.
well I know.
Look, Coach Belichick said, look, I got my bridge to the future in Jimmy G. Mr. Kraft said, no, you don't. I'm going to make you tear that bridge down, and you're going to have to build a new bridge. Coach Belichick says, are you sure this is what you want to do? Okay, Bob. You've been great to me. You let me have my way. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it.
Is that what he said?
It was that civil as well.
You know what? I don't think that was his tone of voice at that point, because that was simply the first time in his whole tenure in Foxborough in which he was overruled. That's the first time in his whole head coaching tenure dating back to Cleveland in which an owner said no to Bill Belichick. Want to bet on that? That would be it. That would be the only time.
And so, you know, he's like, you know, I'm pretty sure he probably had some harsh words. He's like, Robert, I don't agree with you on this. You've always trusted my judgment, and my judgment has been spot on.
Yep.
But I'm gonna listen to you on this one. I just want you to know. You're on the island by yourself.
Yeah.
It looks like it was the right decision.
It sure does, because in the end, Tom Brady had to know in his heart of hearts, I'm playing against my own coach this year. That's what he was doing.
Coach Belichick was still going in, and he's still game planning. They're watching tape together, looking at defenses, and it says, okay, this is the vulnerable. This is where they're going to come from. If they check this is what you should probably do. Coach Belichick didn't change. Sure, Skip, it happens. Sometimes it happens. It's just like you being on a job, and you know your boss wants to replace you, but he can't. So?
But he can't?
No, he can't.
Still got to go in and
you can. So because your boss got a boss, and his boss said, nah, he gonna stay there. And so the other boss come in and you work with you, and great things happen. That's what happens. You got to be able to put that aside.
The greatest achievement is happening, but it has to be capped off by winning this Super Bowl. Lose that, and then it's off. But it's a good case. 2016 was special, man, but not like this.
Think about it, what he wanted to do. You said he wanted to make Commissioner Goodell hand him that trophy.
He did.
Think about that, a whole offseason, you training for that.
I mean, Tom Brady beat the Legion of Boom in a Super Bowl when everybody said, you can't do that.
They were hurt.
Yeah? Oh, they were hurt.
They weren't?
You told me that was an excuse.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, but that's what you do all the time.
Wait, if you walk out there, you're playing, man.
Oh,
right? No excuses.
I remember you said that.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. I remember
well, I'm quoting the great Shannon Sharpe. That's the golden rule.
I'm just waiting for the Well, that's not going to happen. Cowboys Super Bowl. That's oxymoronic. Kind of like jumbo shrimp.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because it's only happened 5 times. Yeah.
Jenny was 5 years old the last time the Cowboys. 5.
Yeah, me think
I don't think she was born.
I was going to say.
It was close.
You're giving me a little love on
It was close.
I think you're
trying
to age the poor woman.
23.
Right?
Skip, I mean, think about that, Skip. 23? 23 years?
Yeah.
23.
I can't defend it, but I'm only talking about Tom Brady.
I was in the league playing.
Yeah.
I've been retired 15 years I've been out the game. Last time the Cowboys did something we can talk about.
But do you realize what Roger Staubach's Cowboys did?
Man, ain't nobody tell me.
Do you realize what the Jimmy Jerry Cowboys did?
Unfortunately, I don't remember.
Jenny looking at me like, who Roger Staubach?
Well, no, do not make it like that. I just don't remember living in it. But
I barely remember. Roger Staubach was playing. I was a kid. Skip Bayless, you know that too. I was a kid.
I was a kid too. He's my favorite player.
The good old days. All right, we have a lot more to get to today. I can't let you guys go on any longer. So many guests coming up on Undisputed later. We will talk with JuJu Smith-Schuster and Baker Mayfield. Skip and I very much looking forward to that next.
What about me?
Yeah.
No mercy.
Well, our next guest made his first Pro Bowl this season. He had over 100 catches for nearly 1,500 yards, and he was named the Steelers team MVP. Joining us live from the Super Bowl in Atlanta, JuJu Smith-Schuster. Welcome to Undisputed. You're here thanks to Madden NFL 19. We hear you've got a big matchup later today with Melvin Gordon. Can you tell us about that first?
Yeah, so big game today against Melvin Gordon, playing Madden 19. You can check it out on EA Madden NFL Instagram, 3:30 Eastern Time. This game is definitely a revenge game against the Chargers. Definitely playing with the Steelers and throwing it to myself 100 times.
Hey, JuJu, it's Skip. Good to have Long Beach Polly in our house here today, even remote here in Los Angeles. You obviously had a breakout season, and your teammates in Pittsburgh voted you team MVP. Were you surprised by that?
Man, I was very surprised with the team MVP. I definitely didn't think, that I was going to be picked. More so just because, me, a young guy, I'm just doing what I'm told on the field, just playing ball, having fun. And the opportunity came, and they picked me. I was very shocked. To this day, man, I'm like, wow, man. Like, my teammates think very highly of me. I think that's like the most important thing to have. Those guys think of me as something very valuable.
It was reported that your man Antonio Brown not happy with you being voted MVP. Did you sense any of that from him directly?
Not necessarily. Obviously, I heard about it. People told me about it, but nothing. From him towards me. So yeah.
Do you think your winning MVP had anything to do with the team having some issues and problems with Antonio's behavior during the year?
Not necessarily. I never really thought of it like that. It was more so of just focusing on myself and my campaign, how I can do better. Obviously, there's some situations that the decisions that he made with his injury that he was dealing with kind of towards the end of the season. So, yeah.
JuJu, Shannon Sharpe here. You had an unbelievable season that Skip mentioned, alluded to. But you do understand that having AB and him being one of the preeminent receivers in all of football, now there's a possibility, there's sources and trade talk swirling around. Are you ready to assume that mantle and be the #1 receiver? And now you're going to be getting everybody's best corner. You're going to be getting the double teams.
Oh, most definitely, man. I think as a kid, growing up, I always wanted to be the #1 guy. Now that I have the opportunity to be the #1 guy, if it does come, obviously I'd prefer AB beat, stay on the team, be on the other side. You think about the numbers that we put up, both over 100 catches, over 1,000 yards, first time to do it in Steelers franchise. I think it's unbelievable. But like you said, man, if the opportunity comes to arise, I'm definitely going to embrace it and take that role.
So through the second half of the year, did you start seeing some double teams just because you were having your breakout year?
Oh, for sure. A lot. Obviously, getting their second best corner, safety over top, cover 2, a lot of that. So the 22-man. And also, playing against the Patriots, you see a lot of double team. And, playing against those defense that play a lot of man.
What happened this year? You guys, you got a quarterback that's probably going to end up in the Hall of Fame. You got arguably the first or second best receiver in Antonio Brown. You have yourself James Conner, double-digit rushing touchdowns, over 1,000 yards. You have a top 5 defense. Why were you guys not in the playoffs?
Man, that's tough, man. Obviously, there's some situations that, we fell short on games that we should have never lost. And, man, it's tough, man. It's hard to say because, obviously there's a lot of stuff that goes on, but, not being able to beat the Broncos, not being able to beat the Raiders in their stadium, and, lost the lead against the Chargers, as it adds on, all those losses, and, fell short against the Saints. If we had the opportunity, to have that game, obviously the situation would be different, and we wouldn't be, relying on other teams for us to make the playoffs. And I think, going through the ups and downs, we just got to learn from it, come back next year, and stay positive.
You say there were a lot of stuff going on. Could you give us a little insight to some of that stuff you're talking about?
I think more so of just the situation with, the players and stuff like that. I think at the end of the day, we should have guys like Bell be on the team, situation, what's going on with AB, everybody just staying focused on the number one goal and just win the Super Bowl. Like I said, I think we had all the pieces in line. I think we had a Hall of Fame quarterback, great head coach, top defense. I think we had all the pieces. I just think that if we just focus on the main goal and everybody wants to win a ring, I think it's possible.
I think, JuJu, you won some more of the fans over after your last game at home when you beat the Bengals, and then you went back out on the field and watched up on the Jumbotron, obviously, as Cleveland was trying to come back at Baltimore to put you guys in the playoffs. Did you get good feedback? I don't know how much you go on social media and read and absorb the fan feedback, but I watched it live, watched you watching it live, and it was a nice moment. What was your feedback on that?
Man, it was amazing. It was incredible. I mean, for us, the stuff that we've been through, the ups and downs, and for us to rely on other teams to put us to the playoffs, man, the whole stadium stayed. The whole stadium watched, and it was unbelievable because, the fans, they care so much. No matter what we've been through, obviously they want to see us make it to the playoffs. And for me to watch it and to get the feedback from the fans, to all stay there together and watch, it was amazing. Everybody truly believes that, you just never give up on the Steelers.
JuJu, the owner, Mr. Rooney, comes in. He says, JuJu, I want to talk to you. And he sits you down and he asks you, say, JuJu, what do we need? How do we get into the playoffs, get to and win a Super Bowl? What do you tell Mr. Rooney? What do you guys need to do? What do you need pieces, if any?
I think, honestly, is no more problems. Get L. Bell back, keep AB on the team, and like I said, man, just go from there and just ball. You talk about James Conner having a great season. L. Bell obviously is a game changer. Like I said, me and AB put up some ridiculous numbers, a top defense. Man, we have all the pieces to the puzzle. Just put it together, get the team right, and man, let's play ball at the end of the day, and let's win the ring.
You said you keep alluding to L. Bell, and he wasn't there all year, and you said problems. Did his absence and the way some of the guys in the locker room handled his absence, do you think that was a factor in maybe a little bit of the uneasiness or some of the dissension in that locker room?
Yeah, I think, with the whole social media thing that's going to be put out there, that how we approached the situation with L. Bell, obviously, some players took it the other way. But at the end of the day, James Conner, he came to play. He's my guy. He's a young dude. He's doing great. And like I said, man, we just need all the pieces. And dude, I've been asked about AB, L. Bell all day this morning, so it's getting tiring, man.
JuJu, before we let you go, how's the knee? We saw that you injured your knee in the Pro Bowl. How's the knee, and what's the prognosis?
The knee is great. Definitely staying positive. Staying healthy. Obviously, coming back this season even stronger, even better. Thank you.
All right, JuJu, thank you for joining us. We hope you can come join us in studio sometime as well. Enjoy the week. We'll be right back.
No mercy.
Jared Goff is days away from his first Super Bowl appearance, and it's easy to say he has thrived in the last 2 seasons with Sean McVay as his head coach. In that time, Goff has made the Pro Bowl both years with 60 touchdown passes and just 19 interceptions. So Shannon, is Goff's success more about him, his development, or Sean McVay's system?
I don't think it's fair, Skip, to say just he's a product of the system. Clearly the kid has talent. And playing in Jeff Fisher's system. Jeff Fisher is a defensive-based coach, Skip. Sean McVay is an offensive-based football coach.
Okay.
And he has a guy and a system that Sean McVay believes in, and the system is very conducive to what he does well. Sean McVay wants to push the ball down the field. Well, Jerry Goff has a big arm, and he can push the ball down the field. But let me tell you who else is a system quarterback. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. Everybody, every quarterback has a system that's conducive to what they do really well. Tell you another guy that was a system guy, Shannon Sharpe. It just so happens I went to the one team, Skip, the Denver Broncos drafted me. 3 teams had an H-back. Washington, San Diego, and the Denver Broncos. Now, what if Cincinnati? What if Seattle? What if another team drafts Shannon Sharpe that doesn't have that position and doesn't take the time and says, okay, well, we can see what this guy can do. Lo and behold, Dan Reeves had the H-back system, gave me a little rep. Wade Phillips gets the job in 92, 93, brings in Jim Fossil. Jim Fossil calls me into his office, looking at after he said, son, I broke down tape. I'm going to build my offense around you. Who builds the offense around a tight end skip in the 90s? I was a systems guy. But Jared Goff is a damn good football player. There's a reason why he rated so high, and he was the #1 pick in the draft. Now he has a system. He has a coach that has a system that says, okay, Jared, this is what you do well. If you notice, there's not a whole lot of quick throws. A lot of stuff is off play action. Rolls over. He's pushing the ball down the field to Brandon Cooks. He's throwing the ball down the field to Robert Woods. And that's what you need to have, Skip. I think Sean McVay deserves a hell of a lot of credit because he pulled what Jared Goff is good at. Because a lot of times, Skip, this is my system. This is what I'm – and before I go, a lot of coaches, offensive mind coaches, they have a quarterback in place, a young quarterback. And what do you hear them say, Skip? Oh, I can maximize his ability. Oh, I'm going to get so much out of that guy, and they'll do nothing. I'm sure a 31-year-old Sean McVay walked in there, sat down with Les Snead and Kevin Demoff, and said, you know what? You have a talent here. This kid is extremely talented. Sure. He just needs the right makeup around him, and we can go places.
Yep.
Les Snead said, okay. Lo and behold, what did they do? Well, they already had Todd Gurley in place, and then they started putting pieces around him, Skip. Okay, we're going to trade for Brandon Cooks. Okay, we're going to go out and sign Andrew Whitworth. Okay, we're going to get this guy. And lo and behold, you have a top 5 offense. And Skip, he pushes the ball down the field. He throws 20 yards down the field. He's 5th in completion percentage. I'm not going to tell you where your guy at, but you know who your guy is.
Who is my guy?
You know your guy.
I don't know.
He was in the same draft.
Oh, he should have gone first in that draft.
Yes. That guy?
Skip.
My guy should have gone #1 overall because my guy has outplayed Jared Goff every time they have met, including the first preseason game.
I don't know.
How many playoff wins your guy got?
What about the wins, though? The win column.
How many my guy got 60 touchdowns. Your guy got 60 touchdowns?
Who had better QBRs in the 2 games that they met, a playoff game and last year's regular season game?
And Skip, hold on. You told me.
Is that the question?
No. You told me. What you tell me, Skip? You told me just an hour earlier. Winning is the only thing that matters. That's what you just told me, Skip.
Dak can't play defense.
Oh my God.
He should.
But I don't want you people, and we do far too much of that. Oh, it's the system. There have been a lot of guys that's been in systems that couldn't play, and the system didn't matter. I believe Jared Goff is in a great system, has a great head coach that believes in him, but this kid is immensely talented, Skip.
By the way, Tom Brady is the system. Do you know how many times he checks out of plays? That's Tom Brady. That's not the system.
How did Jimmy Garoppolo look in that system?
I'm sorry.
How did Matt Castle look in that system? How did Jacoby Brissett look in that system? You keep telling me, but I keep seeing guys do the same thing.
Blips, not trends.
Oh, no. How we know?
Blips.
How we know?
Blips. Well, Coach Belichick thought it was going to be a trend. He wanted Jimmy G. Yeah. And where would Coach Belichick be right now if he had gotten his way? He'd be home
in the Super
watching.
Bowl. In the Super Bowl right now.
Okay.
Probably had 2 more wins.
Back to Jared Goff. So for the record, before that draft, I liked him. I endorsed him as the first overall pick, but I never loved him. He didn't knock me over, and I didn't know enough about your man Carson Wentz. I saw the championship game they played in, but I couldn't really draw a bead on him, and I couldn't take a stand because measurables, Carson Wentz had all the measurables, but I just wasn't quite sure about him. I saw him in the All-Star games, whatever. But this guy, he can play. He's got athletic ability, and he's got a big arm.
Yes.
And his father was a Major League Baseball player, and I always like bloodlines because it just helps.
Yep.
Your brother helped you some. He showed you the way. He gave you confidence that if he can do it, I can do it. I like that.
My dad had good bloodlines.
Okay.
He was a Sky Cap at O'Hara.
Was he?
Did that help me?
Well,
I guess I could catch football. He caught bags.
No, but it helped that you had a big brother who was really good.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
True.
So, and it always helps. You can always see anybody who grew up like a coach's son or whatever.
Yes.
That always gives you a head start. So, in this case, he had a little bit of a head start, and he got trapped under Jeff Fisher, and his offensive coordinator was somebody named Rob Boris, who is now the Bills tight end coach. I don't know Rob Boris. Forgive me. I don't mean to offend him, but no, he's not. He wishes, right? he wishes. But again, this kid winds up with that. a defensive-based football team and a head coach who does not like young quarterbacks, who destroyed Vince Young's career, in my humble estimation. And Jared Goff went 0-7 that year as the starter of Jeff Fisher's Rams. He threw 5 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, and then you know the rest of the story. Sean McVay has been a godsend for this kid because I believe this kid is pretty good, but I don't believe he's as good as Sean McVay has made him.
Okay.
Because I'm not saying he's a product of the system. He's a product of Sean McVay because, to me, Sean McVay gave him his confidence, gave him his charisma, gave him his swagger. I read an interesting note the other night at that opening night, the big interview session that was on NFL Network. Jared Goff obviously had a big audience around him, and I read that there were a number of times during, it goes for about an hour, as you well know, and that there were a number of awkward pauses during the Jared Goff interview because people just ran out of things to ask because he was so short-spoken in his answers. And he's not very interesting. He's a nice kid, but he doesn't have a lot to say. So it would just fall flat, and people would be looking around like, you got a question? I don't have a question, right? And it's just embarrassing because the Brady interview or whatever, it just flows and goes, and people are still yelling questions when they say, time's up, right?
But you got 19 years of questions with Brady.
Okay, you do, but I got it. But with this kid, he's a good kid, and yet, is he a natural-born leader? Is he the dynamic personality who's taken over? Nope, he's not that guy, but that coach is. The coach has got swagger. The coach wore jeans the other night to opening night. Bill Belichick came in a coat and tie, which was shocking to me because it's been a long time since I saw him.
He pulled it out of his backpack, too.
I agree. No, I agree. I'm with you. But here's Sean McVay, and everybody's got on the bottoms, the sweat bottoms to go with the sweat top. He's got on jeans. And he's got the gelled hair, and he's got the hot girlfriend who's all over Instagram, and he's cool. He's got high cool factor, and it's translated to his quarterback. So my favorite play of Peyton Manning's on that detail where he breaks down the 2 championship games, he broke down Jared Goff's championship game at New Orleans, and the play he fixated on was the one where Jared Goff's fiddling with his knee pads a little bit, and he's waiting, and then he has to start telling everybody what to do because they couldn't hear, and they keep passing it up and down the line. And Peyton Manning is making the point, Sean McVay is telling him right up to the clock, let's do that, let's switch to this. Like he's talking him all the way up to the end of the clock. Let's do this, and you're going to do this. And he dropped back and threw an out pass for a big first down to Brandon Cooks. Well, he's just in his ear all the way. Seriously, how long do you think Josh McDaniels is in Tom Brady's ear? Not very long.
Skip, if you remember, is that when Tom Brady completed the pass, he's running up the sideline and he's telling Josh McDaniels, I got it. Don't send anybody. Don't change the personnel. Let's keep what we got right here.
Well, that's Tom Brady. I know.
And the thing is, what people don't understand, it's hard to do your job when someone is constantly talking to your ear. And that's what I was trying
Unless you need somebody to talk. Because Jared Goff's been quoted as saying he calls the play with such authority and confidence, like he loves to hear it. Like it sounds good in his ear.
You buy it.
Remember the big timeout before the big 3rd and 7 play that basically ended the Cowboy playoff game at the Rams? And he called that rollout, that bootleg, and he just told him, if Tyler Higbee's open, you're going to give it to him. But if you see it and you feel it, you run with it because you might be able to get this with your legs. So he's talking him through it. And you know how it feels good in your ear when you got somebody you completely believe in?
Man, when your coaches believe in you. I remember Dan Reeves when he called me in his office, Skip. All our tight ends, Clarence K, Orson Mobley, Chris Verhulst, who decided it was Plan B with no free agents, it was Plan B back then, had gotten hurt. And he called me in his office and he told me, would I mind switching to tight end? I was like, am I going to get an opportunity to play? He's like, sure, but you're going to have to learn the plays. He say, son, you are too big, too fast, too strong not to make a living in this league. Dan Reeves played in the NFL. He coached under Coach Tom Landry. He had gone to 3 Super Bowls before Shannon Sharpe even set foot in the NFL.
One was the championship game in the Ice Bowl.
Exactly. And so for him to have him say that, clearly I was like, this man knows something.
He does.
He thinks that much of me. Sean McVay, the way he calls the plays and the authority in which he calls them, you know he's confident. Okay, he's telling you, now, we're going to call this play. But if it's not there, I got confidence in you that you're going to go get us this first down and you're going to win us this game.
So in that way, he's an extension of Sean McVay. Obviously, he has ability, big ability. But it put him on the map. It made him to have this guy calling his plays for him.
The same thing that Sean McVay is doing for Jared Goff,
Yeah.
Bill Belichick did for Tom Brady. You know why, Skip? Because when Drew Bledsoe got healthy, he didn't go back to him.
No.
He says, I believe in you. I believe in the 6th-round kid in his 2nd year.
Yeah, I'll buy that. But he's not calling plays for
No.
him.
He don't call the plays.
Got a few more years experience,
Yeah.
too. But just to reflect on the fact that we were calling him a bust, Goff, and he has now made it to a Super Bowl. I mean,
Super
that's
Bowl.
a pretty incredible turnaround for the kid.
Was he in that? Hold on. Was Dak in that draft?
Yeah,
What?
it was. Different discussion, different day.
Dak is Brady-esque
Different
because he's a
discussion.
4th-round pick who's a Pro Bowl player.
The potential.
2 Pro Bowls.
You're right.
How can you?
The only difference
How can
is
you explain that?
Nobody from Brady's draft went to the Super Bowl.
Oh, really?
No quarterback went to the Super Bowl.
It's time for some GOAT talk. Who is the real GOAT, Tom Brady or LeBron James? We'll
Seriously?
discuss that with
Seriously?
Greg Jennings next.
No mercy.
Well, Tom Brady is heading to his 9th Super Bowl on Sunday and can become the first player ever to win 6 rings. When you look at Brady's resume, it's only natural that people call him the GOAT of the NFL. Yesterday, Brady compared himself to a player that some people around here consider to be the GOAT of the NBA, LeBron James. Let's hear it from him.
We're similar athletes. LeBron and I, both great size and speed, jumping ability, shooting. Not quite. No, he's a much better athlete than me. I think some people are born with great height. Some people are born with great size, great speed, and some people are born with other things that I would say are more intangible. And I think competitiveness and the ability to compete has been a great attribute for me. And it started when I was young, and it was really a part of my whole family. I mean, everyone was the same way, so it was definitely in our family's DNA to compete and to want to just, play to win.
All right, we are joined by Fox NFL analyst Greg Jennings. Good morning.
By the way,
Great
what's
morning.
that on your finger?
Yeah, it's a little something I got picked up.
Aha.
All week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little something we picked up.
Yeah,
on
little
there.
something,
So
We need to see yours.
you helped win that for Aaron Rodgers,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah, that's what I
Absolutely.
Either way, well, it looks nice on you, and we're happy to have you this week. But Greg, when you hear these comments from Brady, what do you make of it?
I love it. I absolutely love it. This is Tom Brady being comfortable in his domain. And he's having fun with the media. When he talks about LeBron and I being similar, we have the same height, similar height, speed, shooting ability. He's being cheek about it, but one thing I know about Tom Brady is he understands where he's special at. And he identified that. He may not be the most physically dominating presence at quarterback. He may not beat you with his speed, his agility, and all these things, but his is up here.
Yeah.
I'm going to outwork you. I'm going to outsmart you. I'm going to out-prepare for you. Like everything that he mentioned it. The other intangibles.
Things you can't measure.
Things you can't measure, Shannon. Like, those are what make him so great. And I think that's why he's so special, because he doesn't have the physical attributes that so many other. He's not a Patrick Mahomes type. He's not an Aaron Rodgers type where he can run outside the pocket. His arm is just unbelievable. That's not Tom Brady. But he finds a way to utilize what he is. And still, do you understand how impressive that is? That's like the guy that comes to the gym, Skip, with the tube socks and the shirt tucked in and the headband, and he's not really athletically gifted, but he understands the game, and he's like, how is he beating us? That's Tom Brady.
He's that guy.
He's that guy.
The tube socks.
Go ahead,
By the
Skip.
way, I got to defend Tom Brady just on this score before I launch. When we're talking about physical gifts, when we're talking about God blessed you with height. Well, remember, he's 6'4" inches tall, and don't discount that.
Yeah.
He has extreme height for a quarterback, right?
He does.
He's at the high end of quarterback height.
He's prototype.
Okay? He
He's
is.
prototype.
And listen, when you're as deadly accurate as he has been his whole career, it's a gift. It's a physical gift to be able to throw a football to a pinpoint 25 yards away. He threw a couple balls to Edelman on third downs, one on first down that started one of the late drives. And it was just a rocket dart that just hit him right in the hands. It's hard to do that on a consistent basis.
Well, Skip,
just for the record.
You're shortchanging him.
Okay.
No, it's easy to throw the ball 25 yards away. It's difficult to throw the ball 25 yards away when somebody's trying to hit you in your mouth.
All right.
And what he did on 3rd and 10 on 3 consecutive occasions, that's what separates him.
I also don't think he gets enough credit for great pocket feet. He's got the ballet feet. It's hard, man. It's also some mental. It's some on your instincts. It's feeling it. It's seeing
What
it.
a Peyton Manning play.
Yeah.
The one that Peyton Manning against Kansas City.
You saw it.
Yes.
You went back and watched it. Good for you.
Yes.
Because it flashed open because it's deep cover 2. It's deep cover 2, and all of a sudden the Red Sea parts, right? And he says, maybe I should just take off and run right up the gut because I could get 7 or 8 yards right up the gut. And Justin Houston loops it.
D Ford
right in his face.
Yep.
And he stops short and flat-footed. He just drops a dime down the chimney to little James White.
Actually, Skip, he stops flat-footed. He backs up and slides a little bit and throws it. I'm like, look at old Tom.
Look at old Tom.
He's pulled out a little.
And I told you, he pulled out a sweet move on the last play of the Super Bowl last year on the Hail Mary.
Yes.
Because Brandon Graham was coming for him, man, and he dodged him. He deked him and dodged him and stepped up and threw what I thought was a great Hail Mary that should have been caught by Rob Gronkowski. We'd be having a whole different conversation. But now back to this. We were basing this on this Pro Football Talk. They did a story about this, and the headline was, Tom Brady shares one trait with LeBron, competitiveness. No, don't put LeBron in the same sentence of Brady on competitiveness, because this competitiveness is off the charts. That thing, that intangible, that drive, whatever that is, Tom Brady has been the greatest when the stakes are the highest. And he's done it repeatedly. He's won 5 rings. You got 1. But he's won 5. All 5 times he had the game-winning drive in the fourth quarter overtime. That's pretty great. In his career, postseason, he's had 12 game-winning drives. That's double what's the second-place guy on that list, who is your guy, John Elway, who had 6 game-winning drives in the playoffs. 12-6. And if I start throwing in AFC Championship games just recently, last year against Jacksonville at home, albeit at home, they're down 20-10 in the fourth quarter, and he throws for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns and brought them back against the Saxonville defense. This year at Kansas City, he completes 3 straight 3rd and 10s in overtime, another game-winning drive that doesn't count in the Super Bowls, but when stakes are highest, he's at his greatest. There's this clutch intangible that I have not seen routinely in LeBron. Obviously, he has greatness written all over him, but that hasn't been his strength, because we've seen LeBron have some epic fails in the postseason. The 2011 finals, I don't know if he just wasn't ready for it with the heat, but he just melted down. And we saw him melt down at the end of Game 6 in 2013 against my Spurs, and he missed the last second shot. He had 3 turnovers in the last 3 minutes. Then he missed the last second shot. It looked like that was going to force overtime, the 3, and Ray Allen saved his bacon, and I thought his legacy. And then we get all the way to just before overtime last year, Game 1. LeBron just melted down again. He just lost it for a while, and he pouted, and he wouldn't shoot the ball to start the overtime for the 2.5 minutes, and they fall behind by 7, and that's the game. That's not Tom Brady. He's the flip side of this. He's mostly intangibles, to your point, and they are off the charts intangibles that LeBron was not blessed with.
If you don't mind me asking, Skip, in 2011, let's go with 27. In 2007, they're 18-0. They had the greatest offense in NFL history. They're averaging a tick under 37 points a game. Would you say Tom Brady played great in that game?
Which game?
In 2007, in the Super Bowl against the Giants. Would you say he played great?
He pulled off yet another game-winning drive to win the game with 2 minutes left. In his, wait. No, there's no laughing about this. He did that. He did it again. He hit Randy Moss with what looked like was the game-winning touch. There's 2 minutes left in the game, and where was Bill Belichick's defense then? It merely took the luckiest play in the history of the Super Bowl to pull off the drive, but Eli pulled it off. Am I right?
So you say he played great. So
he played well enough to win the game against a really good defensive front, right?
So he scored 23 points lower than what he scored in the regular season, because he only had 14. In 2011, they was averaging 32 points a game in the season. They scored 17 points. Would you say he played great in that game, the one in Indy?
No, he's had a lot of just okay games.
In the Super Bowl. Oh, so another one.
No, he saves the best for the latest, right? 5 game-winning drives for 5 rings. You can't discount that, Shannon. You can nitpick all you want.
That's
but
what
let's
you
go
do.
biggest picture.
That's what you're doing.
I don't do nitpicks.
Hold on. So let me ask you a
You're
question.
reaching and reaching.
I want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly.
Yeah.
So in
By the
game-
way, he is human. That's what's great about
yes,
him.
he is.
Oh, really?
He's human.
Oh, but LeBron James is human.
He is human.
Well, LeBron's like mortal. Like,
You know
like
what? Don't do that, Skip. That's
mortally
that's
wounded.
really unbecoming.
Yeah.
Right
But let me
now.
ask you a question. In game 1 of the NBA Finals last year, would you say LeBron James played well enough for his team to win?
What did I tell you earlier today? He played the greatest single NBA Finals game of his career. I've never seen. He's not a born great shooter from distance, and that was the best I've seen him shoot it from outside.
So, 51 points. He played
Yeah.
well enough to win. I mean, he had 4. I think he had 48, 49 in regulation.
So what would that guy do? If I could pour Tom Brady into that guy, and at the last second, 10, 9, 8, 7, and he gets a switch and he gets 6'3" Steph on him at the free throw line, LeBron with Tom Brady inside, he would have gone straight up and shot the jump shot and held the post just like Jordan did, and the game would have been over. And they would have stolen game 1.
Let me tell you why LeBron,
what did he do? He turned down the shot.
Let me tell you why LeBron's not going to do that, because that's not LeBron's game. When have you ever known LeBron to be stationary?
He was having a game. That was his game. That was the best shooting night I've ever seen him have.
LeBron is a step back, but here's the thing, Greg. If you got a 2-yard pass, Aaron Rodgers can run it, but he throws the ball to you and you drop it. How's that Aaron Rodgers' fault because he didn't run the ball when he threw it to you and you were a receiver? George Hills is an NBA player. You mean to tell me a career 80-plus free throw percent shooter can't make 2 free throws?
He's George Hill. I told you I didn't like him when he was a Spur. No, he's George Hill. I'm on the record. You can look it up.
But can he make those free throws? Should he make those free throws?
They pulled off trading George Hill for that guy number 2 in Toronto. You believe in that?
Yeah.
Wow.
So all it was Luke, Skip.
No, he shouldn't. It was his first ever finals game. You can't put him in that position. You're LeBron James. You are the so-called GOAT, or the faux GOAT, says Shannon Sharpe.
Why not?
Yeah. You take that shot. You're LeBron. Take it. It's your game. It's your league. It's your world. You're the best player on the planet.
Rick, I don't know how you do it.
Don't turn it
The way
down.
I look at it,
come on.
if you make the right decision, you make the right play, you're never wrong.
You made the right decision for the wrongest reason you could do. You're LeBron.
The guy got a layup.
Take
I'm
the
telling
shot.
you, well, if
The guy got a layup.
If Steve
shot.
Kerr would have missed a couple shots that Jordan kicked to him.
Oh,
Just
John
one.
Paxson.
Just one.
John Paxson.
Just one.
What about that one John Paxson hit against Phoenix?
And by the way, those weren't game 7s. You got time to make it up. If it doesn't work, you'll pull it off. They weren't game 7s. Jordan never got to a game 7.
You're right.
Wow.
So we'll never know. We never know what would have happened.
Yeah.
Nobody.
I know what happened in game 6 at Utah, though.
Well, I know what happened in game 7 against the Pistons.
Yeah.
I know what happened against game 7 against the Pistons.
Them bad boys.
You remember that, Skip Bayless?
Them bad boys.
They were some bad boys.
If Jordan was that guy, he got to get through them. He got to get through old Rodman and Mahorn and Lambeer
All by
and James
himself.
Bell. What?
Yeah.
Whoa!
Take on the whole Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
All
we're
in
not
one
doing that
night.
right now.
That's what you asked LeBron to do against Golden State.
Greg,
Oh,
I'm glad
please.
we had you for this one. Guys, we got to get to this because the NFL could be making a big rule change after the Saints lost last
Uh-oh,
week. We're
here
going to tell
we
you
go.
all the details about it
Stop.
next.
They need to stop.
No mercy.
Well, get this. ESPN reports the NFL is expected to consider a plan that would allow coaches to challenge incorrect judgment calls. This comes after the missed pass interference call in the NFC Championship game, but the rule would include a penalty or time getting run off the clock if the coach is wrong with his challenge. So, Shannon, we're just learning more about this, but what is your reaction to this idea?
Is this going to be late in the ball game? Is
I
it going to
think
be?
it's any time. That's how I'm reading it, but I'm with you. I'm still not clear about that.
Skip, I don't.
Because I told you my proposal was last 2 minutes
Only
or
last
overtime.
2.
Skip, I don't like this. I don't want the coaches because, you know, when you open this box, Skip, there's a lot of things that's going to come out of it. Because there's really no doubt. You're talking about, okay, you're going to run time off the clock or whatever. Skip, there's really no downside if it's 3rd or 4th down. What do I have to lose? If I think there's a judgment call and my guy doesn't catch the ball or there's a penalty I think should have come, there's no downside. There has to be a down. You lose the ball. If you said there was a penalty and there's not a penalty, you need to lose the ball on 3rd down. That because we got to stop this, Skip. Look, the guy made an egregious error.
Guys,
Guys made an egregious error, but they're human. This is not the first time, Skip, and I get it. These are high stakes. You're talking about the NFC Championship game with an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. But to take this kind of drastic measure, no, I'm not for that. And now I know one team probably for that, but I hope this doesn't pass, Skip. I do not want Pandora's box open because I know what's in Pandora's box, and I want no parts of it.
I'm just processing this.
Sure.
But to your point, if you make it penal enough where you're going to lose the football, or as Jenny said, if it's going to be a 15-yard penalty or a big clock penalty where you're going to lose a bunch of time off the clock, at least that would make you think twice. You would have to be really sure about it.
Right.
So maybe there would be fewer than we think of these kind of challenges. I was proposing only...
But what's the call, Skip? Is it going to be something down the field?
I'm just going to... My proposal was plays on the ball down the field, across the line of scrimmage, okay? Plays on the ball that involve the football, and it's usually going to be pass interference. Right? And I thought if you could at least correct those in the final 2 minutes in overtime, well, at least that would have eliminated the egregious blunder, what I think is the worst blown call in sports history because it simply decided a Super Bowl berth. Then that would have been fixed, right? That would have been corrected because you would be the first to say they blew that call.
Yeah, they did.
Like, I don't know anybody. I've yet to hear one pundit out there say, well, that call could have gone either. No, it couldn't have gone either way. It was
gone one way.
One way. It was blatant pass interference. Anybody could have called it, and they didn't. 3 or 4 referees looked right at it and didn't pull the flag.
But that's the question. You say you want it to be down the field on the ball. Is it going to be holding in the back?
Okay, well, I think this opens Pandora's box.
Yeah!
Because if there is a blatant hold that you could argue allowed a third down conversion, right? Then I'm pretty sure this would be open for challenge.
And you remember San Diego and Cleveland? The
yeah.
right tackle,
I know.
he's 3 steps out of his stance.
Okay, that referee got fired for that. Fired?
And I believe that's what's going to happen to some of these guys.
Well, do you think so?
I think so.
The NFL is going to have to, like, give us...
And even though...
give us that?
Because here's the thing. Normally the NFL, they don't release that information. Somehow they got out that the guy that blew that call got terminated. That's not information that the NFL normally puts out. I don't believe he's the first guy that... Well, maybe he's the first guy that got fired during the season.
Yeah.
Normally, after the end of the season, they don't renew the contracts. They go in a different direction.
Obviously, the problem here and the mitigating circumstance is this was a top-rated crew.
Right, correct.
So whichever guy you want to hold most responsible, the side judge, back judge, the down judge who was trailing Tommy Lee. What was his name? Lewis. Who are you going to fire all 3 of them? Are you just going to fire the side judge? You're going to have to give us one of their quote-unquote heads? Is that what it's going to do to appease the Saints fandom?
I don't think this is going to go.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to fly because, like you said, because then you're going to say, oh, hold on, wait a minute. Why does it have to be down the field? Why does it have to be on the ball? There are other penalties that occur that's not on the ball. Do I get holding? Do I get illegal hands to the face? What about the holding that's not on the ball?
Yeah, there's always that hold. I always live in fear when I'm rooting for or against a team. And I just wait for that thing to flash up on the screen, flag. Because if you see flag on a play where they have stopped a third down, I'm waiting, don't flash flag, don't flash flag, because it can be a hold 30 yards, 40 yards away from the play on the ball. Are you going to put that under this?
Illegal contact. No, you're opening Pandora's box. I don't think, look, I know the NFL, they hate when they get a situation like this, Skip, because this is the second biggest moment next to the Super Bowl. The opportunity to go participate in the Super Bowl. And everybody saw it. It was egregious. It was a blown call. It wasn't it was bang, bang, and I thought it was bang, bang. That wasn't even close to bang, bang. But this is not the answer. This is not the answer.
But there has to be a way to fix what happened.
You can't. It's
well,
imperfect.
You could with
it's
my
an imperfect
way.
game.
Yeah.
Because guess what? If I'm a coach, man, I'm using my, hey, come here, let me holler at you right quick. Let me holler. I don't care. What do I have to lose? Skip, if I'm down, what do I have to lose?
There's an old saying that any publicity is good publicity, but I'm suggesting now this is not good publicity for the NFL. We're still talking about it. a week later, 2 weeks later. It'll be talked about throughout the offseason because it was so bad.
And go ahead.
Again, that's not good publicity after a while, and I don't think Roger Goodell would consider that good for the image, good for the integrity, good for the credibility of the National Football League. They have to make some move to attempt to fix this, and the only one I know is to limit it to the last 2 minutes.
If I got the lead, I'm going to call the flag. If they're coming back, oh, no. The guy pushed off.
And according to that report, there are other proposals that the competition committee is considering, but this one has the most traction at the moment. So there could be other things everyone's going through. Regardless, they need 75% of owners vote to change anything, any rule changes.
Well, you know what you call it, vote. You know Jerry Jones ain't voting for it, Skip.
He loves the, as he calls it, human frailty that is part of football. So does Shannon Sharpe.
The human element, Skip. It's an imperfect game.
But see, Jerry cares more about marketing the league than actually winning football games. So he's okay. He wants marquee. And right now, marquee is that Shannon and Skip are still talking about it, lo these many days later.
And you see, Roger Goodell, one of the reasons he became commissioner is that he said in 10 years, he could get the league, 15 years, he can get the revenue to $25 billion a year.
He's good at that.
Reports have said they're very, very close.
Yep.
So Jerry likes them. Jerry gonna get him another yacht. He got a yacht bigger than a football field. He gonna get a yacht. What do you do? You upgrade.
I don't think you can get bigger.
Oh yeah, you can get
the
bigger.
yacht.
Oh, you get 2 football fields. Yeah, you get the Queen Mary.
I don't know if that's possible.
Really?
Either way, it's good life.
Well,
though.
you owe me $1 billion, so maybe I should get me a yacht.
That wasn't when I was here. What was that bet on?
I don't know, Skip.
I know exactly what it was.
That was not
happened?
Smart, Shannon. You got to get smart.
What'd you swindle me out of?
That was not a good
It was on, who did I pick for last year's game, Minnesota versus Philly?
Yeah, you did.
And you had me the wrong way, and I said no.
You know.
I picked Philly to win that game.
Well,
You
good
said I
choice.
picked Minnesota. And you said, you want to bet $1 billion? I said yes.
Okay, well, you need to make some
I
smarter
been paid off?
decisions,
No.
Shannon, now that I'm here. So let's see what you have to say about this. Who's the best player in the Super Bowl? Tom Brady, Aaron Donald? Maybe we won't bet $1 billion. We'll discuss next.
No mercy.
Aaron Donald is the best player in the Super Bowl. Well, according to Bleacher Report, they ranked every player in Sunday's game and put the Rams' defensive tackle #1. Bill Belichick even said that Donald is, quote, pretty much unblockable. Tom Brady is going for an NFL record 6th ring, but he came in second despite the article saying, quote, there simply isn't a quarterback playing today you'd rather have in the postseason. We're joined once again by Greg Jennings. Greg, when you hear this report, do you agree that Donald is the best player in the Super Bowl?
Initially, I was like, okay, I could see what they're saying. Then
But
I
then you
thought
came
to
to your
myself.
senses.
Then I came to my senses, Skip.
Yeah.
Then I came to my
thought.
senses like, what? No, this is Tom Brady's second home. This is where he abides. This is his territory. And you're telling me somebody's better than me in this environment? In this game? No, indeed, no, sir. When I look, Tom Brady has the ball in his hands every offensive snap.
That don't mean he's the best. So does every quarterback.
Shannon. Shannon.
Yeah.
Shannon. Tom Brady isn't every quarterback. That's why he's here for the 9th time.
They didn't say most important. They didn't say most valuable, the best.
He is the best.
Not even
He
close.
is clearly the best. And when I look at what he provides for his team versus Aaron Donald, don't get me wrong, I love what Aaron Donald has been able to do. I absolutely think that he deserves all the hype, all the accolades, but I'm sorry, no, they've gone a little too far. I think we get sometimes too caught up into, you know what, we got to give it to somebody else. We can't always say Tom Brady. Let's just throw somebody else out there. And he's a well-deserving second place finisher, but not first. No, not
First how?
First.
Why?
The question was who's the best player.
Yep.
Not who's more valuable. Not who has more impact. Who's the best player? Name a player. Was Tom Brady the best? Let me ask you, I just want to know.
Yes.
Was Tom Brady the best quarterback this year?
No.
Has he been the best player in the playoffs?
Whoa.
Yes.
He gonna let me finish, Gil.
Well,
I'm going to answer honestly. No.
No.
He was not.
okay.
Aaron Donald is the most dominant player. He's more dominant at his position than any other player is at their position. Now, and I got a close second to that, Patrick Mahomes, because I thought Patrick Mahomes had by far the best quarterback season. But when you look at it, and I know it's hard, and that's the thing, because the quarterback, as you mentioned, Greg, he takes the snap on every play. He's more important. He's more valuable. But the best player, talent for talent. That's what the best is, not who's more important. Are you telling me that Tom Brady is better?
It's not. No, see, you're eliminating the pieces that you need to eliminate to make your point.
No.
You're saying, no, because the best is going to be the most valuable. He's going to be the most important. Is that not what the best is?
No.
The best covers everything. The best covers everything. Skip,
JuJu was the most valuable player. Is he their best player?
No, he's not their best player.
Thank you.
No, that's not making the point.
You're actually making our case.
Exactly.
The best player, when you look at Aaron Donald and you look at what he does and you look at it, see, I can't double team Tom Brady and Tom Brady still throw the ball. Can I do that?
Shannon, your JuJu point, it definitely solidified the reason why.
But I'm saying there's a difference between more value and best. There's a difference between the two. And I don't want to get murdered out, because a lot of times when you look at the quarterback, because that's why the MVP normally goes, because of the value. And that's why it's so hard for a defensive player to win that award, because of his value. And unless a running back like Adrian Peterson have that ungodly season, the quarterback is normally going to win that award because of the value that he adds to a team. But the best player, man, it's hard for me to see that there's a better player right now currently in the NFL than Aaron Donald.
Really?
Yes.
So let's do this hypothetical.
Okay.
What if you and I were going to play some sort of fantasy football game just based on the 2 Super Bowl rosters, and we were going to have a draft of the 2 Super Bowl rosters, and I said, Shannon, you got the first pick. Who you taking, Aaron Donald?
What am I doing?
Yeah,
you say fantasy. Fantasy is about numbers. I'm taking Tom Brady.
Okay, but let's do it like if you're going to assemble the best team to win the Super Bowl, if we're just doing sort of a fictional fantasy kind of a draft or if we're just going to play sandlot football and you have all these players to choose from, who do you want on your team first? You don't want Aaron Donald. You want Tom Brady.
But there's a difference between a quarterback. You always going to take the guy that scores points, but that doesn't mean he's the best. That's all I'm saying, Skip.
All I'm saying is the hardest position to play in all of sports is quarterback.
Yes.
And the greatest quarterback ever is playing at his highest level ever. I've never seen him any better than he was against the Chargers and at the Chiefs, where he simply converted 13 of 19 third downs and controlled the football 44 minutes to 21 minutes for your kid, Mahomes boy. And that was the difference in the game. That's the essence of how the Patriots went and stole that game from Patrick Mahomes by just playing keep away. 44 minutes to 21. The kid had the football 3 minutes of the fourth quarter and scored 24 points in the fourth quarter. Wow.
How about this? You were you covered the Cowboys in their heyday. Was Troy Aikman their best player?
Yeah, he was in the end because he played the toughest position to play.
Troy Aikman was their best. Skip Bayless, you're going to sit there with a straight face and say Troy Aikman was their best player or their most valuable player. Yeah.
It's too complicated.
Not any complicated at all.
But in this situation, you can't. When I look at the Rams, as important as Aaron Donald is, you still.
Jared Goff's going to have to.
With the role that Todd Gurley plays, we can arguably say Todd Gurley is their best player on that Ram team. Just because of what he's
Shannon
done
Sharpe,
in the playoffs.
Help me out with this.
Yes.
How many sacks has Aaron Donald had in the 2 Rams playoff games so far?
None.
None. No sacks. So if you were trying to tell me an edge rusher was the most valuable player in the Super Bowl, I would give you that because I can make a strong case. Von Miller was the best player on the field the last time Tom Brady lost a playoff game, which was at Denver that day. They lost 20-18. Von Miller had 2.5 sacks. I think it was 6 quarterback pressures, and he intercepted Tom Brady. He took the football game over, and then he took over the Super Bowl against Cam Newton. And I'm saying that guy coming off the edge, he's listed as a linebacker, but you know what he is. He's like
he's an edge rusher.
He's an edge rusher.
But let me ask you a question. If the New England Patriots single block Aaron Donald the entire game, how many hits you think he'll put on Tom Brady?
He'll probably hit him every single time.
The New Orleans Saints.
That's not the game, though.
Double teamed Aaron Donald 79% of the plays. And Ndamukong Suh had 4.5 sacks in 16 games. In 2 good playoff games, he has 1.5. Why? Because all the focus is on 99. And so when you focus all your attention, that's what, hey, Greg, if y'all double team Greg, somebody else got to come up with plays, guys. So Wade Phillips says, hey, they're going to slide protection to 99. And Ndamukong Suh, Fowler, Brockers, I need to see you.
There's an anecdote named Tom Brady who's getting rid of the ball in 2.1 seconds in the 2 playoff games. That's unheard of. He wore out 2 really good pass rushes, the Chargers and the Chiefs, just because they just couldn't get to him. The ball is gone, and it's one thing to get rid of it quickly. It's another to speed read and make the right decision and throw the right pass to hit the guy right in the hands in 2.1 seconds. And if you keep doing that the whole game, the pass rush will just give up and give in to you because it will gas them. They're fighting so hard to get to you, and they can't get to you because the ball is gone.
The only way you can complete the ball in 2.1 seconds, you have to throw the ball to the slot or you have to throw it to the running back. In other words, you must take, in order to slow that release time down, you must take away his first option. You know, Greg, when you take away your first option, get Tom Brady to bring it down. Okay, if I make him bring it down, okay, Sue, okay, Donald, okay, guys, I need you to show up because I've done it. Because we can't hold up here all day. We can't let him pat the ball like he was doing against San Diego. We can't let him pat it like he was doing because there are sometimes, granted, he was getting rid of the ball, but as the game progressed, he started going further and further down the field. You need to get home. Watch AD. Watch AD. Watch him. You better watch him.
I love him. I love him.
Who's the head coach of the LA Chargers? Guy you know?
Yeah, I love
well?
him. Yeah.
And is he not a defensive guru?
He was offensive side of the ball.
No, he's a big defensive guy.
No, he like offense.
Yeah. Well, he's coached defense the whole time.
No.
Yeah.
Alien, he's a running back. He's our coordinator for Buffalo.
But I thought he's been a defensive specialist.
No, he no defense.
Well, why were they not smart enough on defense?
Skip.
I don't know.
They played 7 DBs. They played 7 DBs when a team lined up in 21 personnel.
Yeah.
Or they lined up in 12 personnel with 2 tight ends on the running back, and you playing with 7 DBs.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You're not smart. Now, maybe they just ran out of bodies. Maybe everybody, the linebackers got hurt, or they don't have enough D linemen. But you see what New England's very smart. When you play them in nickel, they'll run the ball down your throat. You bring 5 offensive D linemen, they'll throw the ball on you. They smart.
So I've watched 2 games in which Aaron Donald participated against my Dallas Cowboys last year during the regular season, at Jerry World this year in the playoffs at the LA Coliseum, and I just don't remember him doing very much because he had no sacks and he had 2 tackles in each game. Is he an immovable object in the middle of that line? Is he the anchor of that line? Do you have to account for him every time?
You better.
Yes, you do. But was the pass rush the reason that the Rams eliminated the Cowboys in the playoff games? No, it was not. It was because the Rams ran for 170 yards in the first half and 273 yards for the game. Right. And my team started drawing a bead on the Rams in the second half and won the second half 15-10.
You ain't draw nothing.
15-10, we won the second half. And if Jared Goff doesn't run for a first down on 3rd and 7, my guy gets the ball back, and my guy was heating up in the second half, and he would have gone and tied the game.
Did you see Aaron Donald on Monday night against Kansas City? Yeah. Did he flash for you?
I did. When I look at the 2, you can say best, most valuable, and we'll stick with best because that's where we're at. But if we look at this game, is Tom Brady not the best player? If you look at this game and say, okay, if I take away Tom Brady from this game, can the New England Patriots win? Because they will be without their best player. If you take away Aaron Donald from this game,
I'm gonna make Tom Brady throw for 500 to beat me.
You got to, because you can't give them both options. You can't give them a running game.
What did the Chargers in Kansas City do? Give them both.
They did, and it was the biggest mistake they made.
So you want Tom to throw for 506?
He ain't gonna throw if that's the only way. Because Sonny Michel's not getting 100 yards rushing. That's for sure. That's not gonna happen.
No.
Either way, Greg, it's good to have you with us. Always nice to get your take.
The more you throw it, the more hits I get a chance.
Guys, I'm looking forward to this one. Baker Mayfield joins the show next. We have so much to talk to him about. His rookie season, his old coach, his new coach. We'll get Baker Mayfield next.
No mercy.
Well, our next guest just finished a great rookie season with the Cleveland Browns. He led all rookie quarterbacks with 27 touchdown passes, and he's a finalist for the Pepsi NFL Rookie of the Year Award, which will be announced tomorrow. Joining us live from the Super Bowl in Atlanta, Baker Mayfield. Welcome to Undisputed. It's great to chat with you. And Baker, I'm going to get right to it. What are your chances of winning this Rookie of the Year award?
What are my chances? Sorry, it's hard to hear in
Yes, what are your chances of winning that Rookie of the Year award?
I think it's 50-50. With Saquon is a good buddy of mine, so we have a little, fun back and forth about it right now. But it's just a blessing to be there in consideration for it. Just to think about where I was a year ago and to fast forward to now. It's been a dream I've been living through. So I'm happy to be here. Obviously, I want the award, but Saquon's a good friend of mine, so he's a great player as well.
Hey, Baker, it's Skip Bayless. So all of your welcome to the NFL moments during training camp were obviously captured on HBO's Hard Knocks, during which we got to see your head coach and your offensive coordinators sometimes going at it, going back and forth. Was Hard Knocks a good thing or a bad thing as you look back on it for your football team?
To me, it depends on how you handle it, because there's cameras everywhere. Some guys start acting different for the cameras, which is, that's how it works. But it's for some of the guys that used it to, come together and stay away from it. You had like the warning of who was mic'd up for the day, different stuff like that. It's definitely not easy to deal with. Considering that's, I don't think a lot of people realize that if we brought cameras into your workspace, I don't think you'd like it very much either. So it's different, but I think our guys handle it pretty well.
So one scene that personally really offended me, and I talked a lot about it on Undisputed, was the moment in which you were called into Hugh Jackson's office to be informed, along with Drew Stanton, that you had won the backup quarterback job as the #1 overall pick. Did you have any problem with that scene?
No, absolutely not. They had a plan. They told me that before even the draft, before I even knew I was going there. They asked me how I feel about it. Obviously I want to play. That's who I am. I want to play, but I'm gonna do my job. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make that team better, and just be myself. And that's what they wanted me to do. And I trusted them because they were very upfront and honest about how they wanted to handle it. And they never lied about it. So it went very smoothly, I think.
Yet you seem to have some lingering issue with Coach Jackson, obviously now in Cincinnati. Did anything happen early on where you felt like he just wasn't in your camp and on your side?
No, it wasn't anything like that. If you're not with us in Cleveland, you're against us. And we have division rivals, and that's how I feel about it. And if you don't like that, then you probably don't realize what type of game football is. So that's okay.
Baker, as Jenny said, you had an unbelievable season. You set the rookie record for touchdown passes. How would you evaluate your play in your rookie season? And do you feel if you had started the entire season, you guys make the playoffs?
No, I think everything happens for a reason. So, yeah, the easy answer to that is going back and saying, yeah. But, everything happens for a reason. I had to play the waiting game. And you know what? I'm thankful for that. I sat behind Tyrod and learned from him as well. And I'm thankful for being in that situation. I had two great veteran QBs to learn from throughout the process, through the offseason and in training camp. You know what? It's a difficult situation because – being me, I want to play, but I'm thankful for how it happened. I mean, not Tyrod getting hurt is not the way I wanted to go in, but getting my chance to play and just seizing the opportunity was very important to me.
What led to the turnaround?
One more time.
What led to the turnaround in your season?
Our guys realizing we had the pieces in the locker room and just believing in that and just doing their job. We have a very talented team. You could sense that when I got there that, the pieces they brought in from free agency and then the draft class, that we had a lot of talent. It was just very important for our guys to just do their jobs and believe in it.
So how much different or better was Freddie Kitchens for you than Todd Haley was?
I think The difference was, how comfortable I was to be able to cut through the game plan and be open and communicating with it. And Freddie forced that on me. He was very, he would harp on the fact that we needed to be on the same page, and that's how you execute. And, having a great relationship with him, honest and upfront about everything, I think led to, my success playing-wise and being able to talk through things with Terod and Drew Stanton as well, and just kind of, be on the same page. Everybody doesn't realize that's one of the most important things in football at the pro level, being able to get guys, that were coached from every sort of different background growing up to be on the same page, to have the same mindset, to try and get that same football IQ and to go execute.
Any concern you'll lose that connection day to day with Freddie now that he's the head coach?
No, absolutely not. I think we have the right pieces, and I believe in John Dorsey and what they're doing right now to be able to continue to do that. And I trust in that plan, and I got to be myself. That's the most important thing for me.
Baker, give us your thoughts on Kyler Murray. Obviously, he was your backup last year, and when you were at Oklahoma, you win the Heisman Trophy, move on the #1 overall draft pick. He wins the Heisman, succeeding you. What is your expectations for him in the NFL?
Kyler's a winner. You can say what you want about height. I had the same knock last year. People are going to say that about him, except for the fact that he's just a lot faster and more athletic than me. So he's a winner. He's very talented. I believe in him. From being a guy that saw him work, saw him have to wait and be patient and just go through the grind every day and be a leader in the locker room even though you're not playing. People don't realize how tough that is. But he was able to do that, and he's a special guy, and wherever he goes, somebody's going to get really lucky because winning in football is the most important thing, no matter what shape or size you come in. And Kyler's talented. It doesn't matter.
All right, Baker. Well, something is working at Oklahoma. Thank you so much for joining us. You said it's been a wild year, but this is just the beginning for you. We appreciate your time. We'll be right back.
No mercy.
Well, it's time for our final topic of the day. Tom Brady's biggest rival was Peyton Manning, and Deshaun Watson said yesterday that he can see himself and Patrick Mahomes in the same light. Watson told Pro Football Talk, quote, "Of course, we're both in the AFC, so hopefully we get that Peyton and Tom Brady type of match each year." Shannon, do you have a problem with this comparison?
I don't, and that was a great matchup. I don't think anybody thought that when they first played each other, Peyton and Tom, Skip, that it would turn into what it turned into. 4 times they played for the right to go to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And so I'm sure, look, they're basically the same age, Skip. They're taking 2 picks apart. They're in the AFC. So it's set up really well. But Tom Brady's like, hold on. Y'all talking about y'all going to play against his. One of y'all going to probably have to play against me in order to get to where you want to go.
Yeah,
but I have
next 4 years.
Yeah.
See, there you go. You ruined it. I don't have a problem with it because I know this is what they're hoping.
4 more years? Wow.
No more years. No more years.
I love me some Deshaun. I didn't love this quote, although he did stipulate he's not saying we're going to become the next Brady and Peyton. We just hope to have those kind of matchups, right?
On the line.
Because you got to watch it when you're going to go so far as can they become Brady and Peyton?
That's an awful lot. They're about 500-plus touchdowns away. But, Skip, when you look at it, people don't remember this. Before they reconfigured the divisions, Peyton and Tom were in the same division. They were both in the AFC East. So not only did you play each other twice, there was an opportunity that you were playing them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it came down to, who's going to the Super Bowl, Tom or Peyton.
I'll take Deshaun over Mahomes.
No, my homeboy. My homeboy.
Go there.
MVP. MVP.
Intangibles. I'll take Deshaun.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.